Feeling like no ceilings. About to make another killing. Look, look. Turn me up, turn me up. Nah, turn me down, turn me down. Look, look. Turn around, turn around. These haters can't hold me down, hold me down. Look, we on a whole nother motherfucking spirit level. The earth flat, Garrett proved it with a spirit level. Yeah, 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 yeah. I said we on a whole nother spirit level. The earth flat, Garrett proved it with a spirit level. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. Look. What's good, everybody? What's good, everybody? Are we in the building? I'm feeling good right now. Let's run that beat back one more time. Come on. Yeah. Let's go. Come on. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling like a motherfucking soldier. Look. Red pill, blue pill, fork in the road. My last reply, battle cloud, tormented souls. My paradise, life, passion printed in your mind. Holy grail for sheeple, physics for the blind. Gonna keep it 100 till I'm gone in the hearse. Put my heart in the beat, put my soul in the verse. On my guard in these streets, risk it all to make it work. I ain't fall from the sky, I rose from the dirt. Come on, come on, yeah. Turn me up, I'm burning up the globe. You ain't spinning around in circles, ain't no motherfucking curvature. What's your purpose? Why you nervous? Truth hurt and kill the lies. I'm the motherfucking murderer. The earth flat, the hell with how the fuck you feel. Till you explain to me how water can flow up a hill. Till you give an example, or till you demonstrate why airplanes don't nosedive. They ain't flying off into space. Come on, y'all better turn me up. I'm feeling good right now. Look. Look, 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 look. You motherfuckers gon' feel the pressure. Yeah, we on a whole other spirit level. Yeah, I said Nassalat, the globe is motherfucking fake. Got a homie named D Marble, he proved it with a spirit level. Swear to God that it's stationary. I hate to say it, man, all of these haters scary. I swear to God that it's stationary, and I don't fear the devil. And once again, boy, I'm here to tell you, there's some things in this life you may not understand. True stranger than fiction turn you to a humble man. Your universe ain't nothing but a fucking episode. Reality's a matrix, forget what you ever know. Come on, come on, look, 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 look. I'm feeling good right now, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. Said keep it real, keep it flat. To that AE, to that Gleason's map. 60 mil a motherfucking day we been taxed, and motherfuckers still asking where their reasons at. Let it marinate, let me clarify, this my serenade. Welcome to my paradise, no parodies, just casualties. I'm allergic to lies, they fucking with my allergies. And I'm an alligator, down in Alabama. Extravaganza, world need a fix, grab the hammers. Grab the hammers. The world need a fix, grab the hammers. Nail in the coffin, bite your nails when I'm talking. I got facts, you got lies. A whale to a dolphin? What up with that? Okay, look, may you speak the truth or get your throat cut. Your theories work on paper, but this ain't your notebook. May you speak the truth or get your throat cut. Your theories work on paper, but we don't live in a notebook. That's right. That's right. I said your theories work on paper, but we don't live inside a notebook. Speak the fucking truth, dawg, or fuck around and get your throat cut. Fuck around and get your throat cut. Your theories work on paper, but we don't live in a notebook. Yeah, yeah, I'm feeling good in this motherfucker, man. Let it marinate. Now let me clarify. This my serenade. Welcome to my paradise. We on a whole nother motherfucking spirit level. The earth flat, devil proved it with a spirit level. We on a whole nother spirit level. The earth flat, devil proved it with a spirit level. Come on. Are y'all ready for this shit? I'm vibrating high. This is time of creativity. And we back in the motherfucking building. Go ahead and hit the like button and share this shit. Hot shit! We gonna turn up some more. If they starting a fire, tell them we don't wanna put that shit out. We coming with the gas. What the fuck they thought? What did they think, y'all? They started the fire and thought we was gonna run that water. Motherfucker, we came back with gas. Black motherfucking power. Let me give a shout out to Flat Earth Accord. Thank you for that donation, soldier. Much love to all of y'all in the building. Round dose. Let's get it. Picking back up where we left off. Hold up a minute. Let me let the dogs out. Y'all know how it go. Alright. Cool. So, I'm going to pick right up where we left off, guys, because, you know, we're going to keep it going. I'm ready to complete this work that I have. I got a whole outline. And when I came up with this series of videos, I didn't understand how extensive the outline was. So, wow, look like I'm going to be doing this a minute. So, let's go ahead and pick it up right now. So, what's going on now? This is the start of the dark half of the astrological year when the sun enters the sign of the scales Libra. But there's a drift over the millennia, and that island's latitude, the equal day/night, happens up to 4 days later than the astrology timing. The famous Egyptian priests built their great sphinx to point directly toward the rising sun on this equal day/night every year. All right, so this is the autumn equinox we're going into, also called fall, because listen, we have the season called fall every year, but this is a different fall. This is when the sky is going to actually fall, like they've been talking about, and in Revelation how the stars fell onto earth, but not literally. These stars will appear closer. It would appear, if you've been watching the sky, because I've been watching it every night, you notice that even in areas where you ain't even been seeing stars, the sky is lit the hell up. I live in Las Vegas around nothing but lights, and I'm telling you, I never see stars. But when I go out there tonight, it's lit the hell up. It's like the sky, the stars are falling. And this is where you get that saying from in Revelation, all right? It's not literal. Everything is approaching the ecliptic, or the celestial. This alignment is going to be one of a kind, and it won't happen again for the next 7,000 years. But I want to continue reading here. So this autumn equinox is called fall, Mabon, Michaelmas. Yes, Michael Mass, like Christmas, like Christ Mass. So understand that the death and rebirth of the Christ isn't isn't exclusive to Jesus. It was whatever the deity was when they was using that constellation of Leo. That's the line of Judah. That's the great Sphinx. You got one in Angkor Wat they call a griffin. That would be the equivalent of your Christ, of your Leo, the line of Judah is not a literal dude coming back. Like I said, this is a celestial event. So you got Christmas, but for the Irish, they got Michael Mass instead of Christ Mass. So these are just different deities. Christ is one. All right? Everyone have this thing in their own tradition. It's all linked to this celestial event. So what you need to learn from it if you're a Christian is that there is no literal Christ. It's Leo, the constellation Leo. All right? And we went over that. So, Michaelmas, Labor Day dealing with pregnancy. We enter in the age of the goddess where we're about to give birth to renewal. And this pregnancy is going to last from September 23 for the next 5 to 7 years, or what they call the Great Tribulation, or the Great Laboring of the Babylon, the Great Virgin Virgo. All right? You see? Virgo giving birth to Leo, and then they making war with the beast. We went over that. This is a celestial event. So this is the Feast of Avalon. And if you know, that is all about the goddess right there, okay? The festival of Dionysus. Dionysus, I think that's a patriarchal horn deity that replaced the goddess. Let me Google that and see if I'm right about that. I can be right. See, I'm right about it. I'm right about it. I know my stuff, don't it? Let me toot my horn. Y'all gotta understand, right now, this the Feast of the Trumpet. We're in the festival of the trumpet, or what some call the Trump time. You know, where the trumpet's being blown, Donald Trump president. So allow me to toot my own horn. If that's the case, I'm going to be tooting my own horn. All right? So, all right. How y'all doing? I'm just being funny. So Dionysus, like I guessed, it was a horn deity, but it's a male that replaced the mother. If you can see here, this is a male deity, and he has that rod in his hand, and wrapped around that rod, I don't know if you can see, it's like two little ribbons, and it's serpents on that rod. And that, what you're looking at, is the equivalent of, excuse me, let me get my stuff ready. Here we go. That would be the equivalent of, like I said, you see the ecliptic, all of the planets will be aligned, all right, right there, coming straight through Virgo and Leo. This would be the rod that the Virgin and her son defeat the beast with. So it's a planetary alignment, not a literal rod. Now that we got that locked in our head, let's blow this up. Okay, I think this is a good little model. We'll keep this one up for a minute. All right, and then we'll go back to here. So the festival of Dionysus, which is really the goddess, but this festival, see, let me break this down for you. Again, the goddess was the first deity in antiquity to wear the horns, and she was known as the diva, and that later became the devil. Is a divine status to hold. So when you fast forward time to this God that they're giving you, that this time is for now, they're giving you this dude right here, who, okay, and he's not the mother. This was during the time, as you can see here, there's a deity next to him that's half goat and half man, but he's a small little fella, and his name is Faunus, Faunus, and he's a version of Pan. Okay, and you can see him here. Hold on just a minute, guys. So excuse me, guys, sorry about that. You can see Pan always playing this flute, and he's just, what he is, that flute of his is actually, hold on, that flute that he's playing is this alignment. Wait a minute. I'm going to show y'all how this was taken from the goddess and given to a homosexual pantheon. The root word of pantheon is Pan, dealing with this god Pan. They pan the energy from the female to the male, and I'm going to show you how that happened here if you bear with me. So this ecliptic is the great alignment of the planet, of the great alignment there, the rod of Leo, or the weapon that Jesus used to strike the serpent, but him and his mother hold it. This is the Virgin and the Son making war with the beast. But I just showed you this deity here called Faunus, and he's a version of Pan. Pan is the root word of pants. We all wear pants, and if you look at the pants you got on and look at him, you can see how this concept kind of came to be. So hold on just a second. So sorry about that, guys. So what he represents, he's a form of Leo or Jesus. He takes the place of Leo. If you look at his hands, you see where his hand is holding the flute there. And you see where Leo is on here. That would be Faunus or Pan playing the flute. It would be the equivalent of Leo holding this rod or this great alignment. So I hope y'all see how the virgin story, over time, it just started with the goddess. She was slaying this beast by herself, or either it was just the goddess by herself with a long rod with a serpent wrapped around it. And I showed y'all that symbolism in previous videos. But over time, the goddess with the long staff and the serpent wrapped around it, you know, they gave that story to Moses too. All right, all of this mythology was stolen from the goddess and given to male deities. Over time, there was no place for the woman, so everything feminine or mother nature has been desecrated in our time. So we attack nature like no other generations. But this system will be over here shortly. Now, what you want to pay attention to is it went from the virgin or the great mother raising her hands in victory, like I always show you with that rod. But upon her rod, the serpent was coiled up, because that is a representation of needle and thread. The goddess with the pole in its alignment with Hydra wrapped around it predates any virgin birth. This was just when this same story was told without any male, just the goddess working the magic with her wand, and what was wrapped around it was the caduceus or the serpents. And you can research what I'm saying by pulling up serpent goddess and things of this nature. In fact, it was never about her killing the serpent. The mythology can change with the society, but it's still the same celestial event. Over time, it became the goddess giving birth to a son and him helping her with the serpent. And what they're trying to do is straight up delete Virgo, to where in a couple hundred years, they don't recognize that constellation with the goddess. It'll be just a bunch of men in this creation story, which is very homosexual. And which brings me back to this story. Think about it. He is Leo with the alignment. But if you look at where Virgo and where Hydra would be during that time, it takes us back here. Now you see Pan or Faunus with Dionysus, and I just showed you Dionysus is a horned patriarch deity who replaced the mother. So here you got a man in place of Virgo. You got a man virgin holding the staff of the mother. Remember, she was the first one to hold it alone. And the V for victory is the V for the vortex of the divine feminine. Remember, her son became Leo. But in some corrupted cultures, she didn't even have a son. In fact, there was no she, it was a he. And I know that's kind of uncomfortable, but we're dealing with a sick society. So here you got, instead of Hydra wrapped around the mother's pole, or either in some cases where you got Virgo giving birth to Leo or Judah, and they both having the pole defeating the serpent. In this situation, you got the older story of the mother who held her rod with Hydra wrapped around it. And instead of the mother and Leo, you got Dionysus with Pan. So here you have a trinity of just basically, this was a form of Father, Son, Holy Ghost, no place for the woman. All right? So this thing go all the way back. It's sick, it's corrupted. The men that run this world, they all for this type crap. All right? Pedophilia and all of this stuff. So the mythology change, and it changes the spirituality of the people, because when you corrupt the story of the stars to fit your sick society, as above so below, we get Greco-Roman societies like America today. So let's skip around and let's talk about some more of this. What we're going to get into is a lot we got to go over. So earlier I was telling you how scepter means seven. Seven is the scepter or septos, dealing with a rod. Remember, a scepter is a rod. And during this time of 7 or September or Skeptember, Leo holds the rod. There's an alignment. And this is why this is scepter is linked to 7 or septos, the scepter. You want to keep that in mind. Sept, because when you intercept something or reception, or it's a form of receiving something. In our case, we're receiving a revelation. Hence, the book of the Bible tells you this story of this alignment of the Virgin and her son holding these planets. As you can see from the bottom of Virgo's foot, the moon going all the way up. Keep that concept locked in your head while I read to you about this rod, this scepter, this scepter that's being revealed in Skeptember or Septos, which is what's going on now. So keep that in mind. Think about Leo, who you see up there with the Virgin. Keep in mind that those planets coming across their body is this scepter. There's a rod that they're holding, and they're going to slay the dragon with it. But now while you keep that in your mind, I'm going to read some more to you about this scepter. We're going to get some etymology of how it relates to 7 and septos. So remember that the witch have a wand, and that would be the equivalent of the mother goddess. Remember, she's a personification of the North Pole. That pole is her wand. She stirs up this pot, this witch brew, creating a celestial circuit above your head. But there will be an alignment on the 23rd, like we've been saying. Excuse me. There's some things I want to point out about the number 7. And there's some things I want to point out about the hurricanes that we're receiving, and how they're dealing with mythology at this time. So everything is centered around 7 and death and rebirth. And that's a 3-day period after that Sabbath or that 7th day where we rise again. Attention is 10. 3 days from 7 give you 10. So I'm giving you the numerology. When Jesus was born, you had 3 kings in the sky. You had 3 men, and they gave 3 gifts. Okay? Keep that in mind. Because after the birth of Christ is the 3-day period, will be equivalent of coming to infancy to adulthood. And remember, infancy is infinity. You're coming from that dark realm. So one thing to keep in mind is they're attacking us spiritually and with mythology. The last 2 hurricanes that we had was Jose and Maria, and those are the parents of Jesus. Okay, so they're speaking the language to you on many forms. So I'm going to say that again. The last 2 hurricanes we had was Jose and Maria. That translates to Joseph and Mary. So these 2 hurricanes will be the birth of something big. I don't think it is going to get any better. All right, because what they're using with this story is to give birth to the biblical revelation, which is chaos. And they got the technology to bring that story to life today. Even though we know nature ain't attacking us, it's just them. But by them deceiving us and hypnotizing us, because most people don't put the puzzle pieces together, the language they speak into your subconscious. So you get attacked with think about it, what come before the sun? The parents come before the sun. So on the 23rd is the time of the birth of Christ, or Leo, coming in the sky with the sword with his mama escorting him. So Jose and Maria are the parents coming before the sun. Remember that John the Baptist came before Jesus, and he had to lay the way for the Christ by bringing the water of baptism. So when they come in with the water and the hurricane attack, which is the parents coming before the son, you get Jose and Maria. So even though if you don't really catch that, your subconscious does, and they speak in a dual language. All right, so let me see. This 7 is something I wanted to deal with y'all too. Okay, hold up just a minute. Yeah, that's something that I was thinking about too. Let me show you. I think today, all right, which if you want to know that everything is staged, okay, everything is staged. I think today the 49ers played the Rams, if I'm not mistaken. And you need to think about that. So this was the only football game that took place today. And this is a very, very, very symbolic game for a very, very, very symbolic time. They are speaking to you, ladies and gentlemen. All right? So the Rams shut out the 49ers. Y'all don't see what's going on here? Let me show you what's going on. So you had the Rams and the 49ers playing 2 days before the 23rd, or really it's going to be, the 23rd, my bad, which is the alignment, the birth of Christ. But what's so special about this game, and now I might be reaching, but I think I'm on to something here. They speak to us with these games. You got the 49ers who represent what? 4 9s. 4 9s. What is 4 9s? Well, 9 times 4 is 36. What is 36? 3 6, the mark of the beast. What's the beast? The ram. Ramses. Jesus is the ram. Understand that the ram is the lamb and it's the Lion of Judah. Now, am I on to something? Let me get a flat power. You see, they speaking to us, but they ain't speaking over our head. So the 49ers, again, it's the 4 9s, which will give you 3 6. And remember, we in the time of the beast right now. 6 6 6. Okay, and I just went over that in a previous video on these numbers with the 6s and the 9s. So the 49ers translates to the 666. And the ram is Ramses, or what you call ramen. Ramen, you got noodles that they call this, all right? And noodles is N-O, is O-O is N-U, noodles. They spell it with a U in a lot of cultures. The reason they do that because the noodles look like braids or they look like waves, and that's dealing with cosmology, even in your food. Everything has a meaning and a significance. But what you got to think about when you say RAM, you're talking about memory, Akashic records and computers. So the ram wear the horns of the goddess. Always remember that. And when you deal with any dark color, pairing it with gold, you're dealing with the colors of the goddess. Blue and gold, purple and gold, and black and gold, all are colors of the night sky. The night sky go from blue, black, and purple. And it's paired up with the golden luminaries of the stars. So the rams represent the night sky with the blue and gold, and also the horns of Nut, or the goddess. Remember that the horn is symbolic of how the energy bursts from the North Pole and burst out like a fountain, creating a spout that goes all around the cosmos in a figure 8, creating infinity or constant recycling. So this blue and yellow and this ram team is very symbolic. They're dealing with cosmology and spirituality. We understand the holiness of the ram. We understand how horns are holy. We understand how blue and gold is the colors of the bee goddess and of sky goddess Nut. Alright? We understand that the Rams is a team that originated in St. Louis, and St. Louis translates to St. Lucifer, Louis. All right, Louis would be Lucifer, a form of the light bringer. Everything is symbolic, and when you deal with the 49ers, I just broke that down to you. We know their team in 49 was the gold rush, but everything is numerology. We know their colors is red for the blood and gold for the gold, quite simple. But when you put these two teams together, it brings together two teams that's going to be participating in a celestial event. So as above, so below. And yes, the Rams are going to win because Jesus is Leo and he's going to slay the beast. Remember that the beast would be 49ers because 4 9s translate to 36, which is 36666. So the ram is slaying the beast. And the Rams killed the 49ers according to the LA Times. So they're speaking to you the same story in so many ways. Alright, Leo slaying Hydra is the Rams defeating the 49ers because 49ers is 666. Now I don't need to go into that no deeper. Let's deal with the colors. You got one team that's blue and yellow, one team that's gold and red. Well, blue is with the night sky. Yellow is for the sun and the luminaries. Red and gold is for Aldebaran or Nibiru. In other words, when this alignment take place and you look up at the midnight blue sky, the colors that you're going to be seeing is yellow, red, and gold. They're on the 23rd. And if you look at these jerseys that those two players got right there, one number 30, one number 20, that's 23. And I didn't even expect to pull that up. I just put this up off Google. But they speaking to us, okay? There go your September 23. These are the two colors that you're going to see. And the fella that played for the Rams is making his hand like an arrow or like a rod. And remember, Leo is going to be holding the rod on the 23rd. All right, slaying the 4 9s or the 3 6s. Okay? This game is symbolic. It's very symbolic. The colors you're going to see in the sky are the same colors you see on that field right there. Blue, yellow, white, red, and gold. All of those are the colors you're going to look up and see. The blue night sky, and that's going to be some yellow twinkles, some red twinkles, and some orangey gold twinkles. Them going to be the colors you see in this alignment. Blue, yellow, red, gold, and white. And that is amazing. So they definitely speaking to us, y'all. I had to show you that because my folks came and they was talking about the football game, and me being curious like I am, all I wanted to know was who playing. And when they told me, I came in here and started taking notes, and goddamn it, I said to myself, I bet you the Rams win. And when I Googled it, what do you know? The Rams beating the beast. They speaking to us in numerology. So I didn't watch the game. I don't know who won, but I'm guessing it was the Rams. Either way, they telling us something. But we gonna move on because I ain't trying to get y'all into sports. All right, a while back they made a movie called Jupiter Ascension. Who remember that movie, Jupiter Ascending? That was a damn good movie too. All right, Jupiter Ascending. And what they had was the famous cover that sold the movie. You can't lie, like it's a sick cover. Let's check it out. We want to talk about Jupiter Ascending right now because why? They was telling us something when they made this movie, brothers and sisters. All right, minus the bald earth lie that they got up there. In fact, that's such a blasphemy to me that I want to find another picture. Let's use this one. That's better. Okay, you see Jupiter ascending on the horizon in this picture, and the name of the movie is Jupiter Ascending. I want you to keep that in mind. I want you to keep that in mind, because I ain't gonna repeat myself, but you really gotta pay attention. Jupiter Ascending translates to Yah, J-A, the abbreviation, Yah. And Jupiter is a form of Zeus. Okay, and what's happening is Mother Nature is coming back. But in this movie, you getting it in a patriarchal propaganda form of mythology. And what they doing is they showing you things that lead up to the event of the rising of the Christ, or the rising of the mother. Remember, she's the original power behind the Christ. So she's who's been suppressed the past 7,000 years. So this cover is kind of symbolic as well, with the mother and the masculine. But what I really want to point out is the way Jupiter is ascending on the horizon, and the fact that the movie is called Jupiter Ascending, because that's an actual celestial fact of what's going to happen when the Christ return, or when Leo appear back with Virgo on the 23rd. Keep that cover locked in your head. And now what we're going to do is flip over to this. This is Equinox Moon and Jupiter over the next few days from Bruce McClure. And he put this out 20 hours ago. All right, this was put out 20 hours ago. And you can see Sept 21st down here at the bottom. Lo and behold, Jupiter is going to ascend before the moon. And I just showed you that cover with the masculine and the feminine there, with Jupiter ascending in the background on the horizon. You're literally going to see Jupiter ascend on the horizon. You missed it. That was this morning. So Jupiter ascended this morning. Now, I think Mercury and a few more going to escort him. And this is the horns that's being blown before the Christ come. Because how this event going to appear as the sky turn around, everybody gonna see the alignment before it dissipates. That's how I'm interpreting this, because it say every knee shall bow, every eye shall see. But with perspective, we know that the sky come to you, you don't go to it. So what I'm saying is, it's gonna be something for everybody's temples on each continent to show reverence to this alignment in their own way. So again, Jupiter will be ascending. Jupiter did ascend this morning on the horizon. That would have been good if we had some people to film that. But I know it take expensive technology to get this stuff, because I tried to film the sky with my little cheap camera, and it don't show nothing but blackness. You know, it's like I see all of these stars, but when I look through the camera, nothing. I'm no genius, so, you know, even I got things I gotta learn. Excuse me. Hold on a minute, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in, by the way. We're gonna dig even deeper. Okay, guys. So Jupiter did ascend, and that's where they get the movie. So let's continue. Let's read a little bit of this before I close it. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and read all of this. And while I read it, you guys can kind of read along with me. On September 21st, 22nd, and 23rd, 2017, again, this is those 3 days now when Jesus, it's a 3-day period when he rise, okay? And even when he was born, you had your 3 kings, your 3 gifts. Keep this in mind. The 3 has a relationship with the 7 because 7 is the cornerstone, the end. And after 7, you get 8, infinity. But before the clock resets, it's a 3 or a triangle. It's hard to explain, but I did a good job in the previous one. We're going to continue this because I don't want to make this one long. As the sun crosses the celestial equator, bringing the September 22nd equinox, try to catch the slender waxing crescent moon and planet Jupiter in your western twilight sky. Okay, blase, don't want to waste too much of your time. I will put a link to this in the chat room in just a second. I only want to read what I gotta read. From North America, indeed from the whole world, it'll be easier to spot the moon on September 22nd, 23, when its distance from the sunset will be greater. Each following day will present a wider evening crescent higher up in the west at sunset and setting later after nightfall. Let's do this so you can kind of get you a visual. So you guys can study this chart here while I give you some more facts with that, because I'll be skipping to this chart with you in a minute so you can kind of get ahead of me while I read this to your subconscious. We're getting it in tonight, buddy. So come on. So this is here on this website is pretty much just telling you the best ways to observe this event. And we don't really got to go into that. Let's talk about the scepter. What scepter, Brother Sanchez? Well, the scepter that Leo is going to be holding. Remember, Leo's going to be holding the rod. Do I got to put the picture back up, or can you guys work with me? Okay, I think you can. We remember I've been going over this. I've been extensive. I kind of just want to go through this one. So let's talk about scepter, September 7. What is this staff linked to 7 in completion? Because again, we're entering the 7th day of the great year. 7,000 years, a day for the cosmos, where the great wheels span of the Maya. So 7 is a number that you're going to see a hell of a lot. I mean, when you start adding stuff up, it equals out to be 10 and 7, because 10 is another number dealing with the 3 days when he rise again. 10 just means resurrection, egg and sperm, okay? 10 is tension, attention, when you stand up out of your mama womb and resurrect or incarnate, all right? So, think about it. We're in the year 2017, and that equals out to 10, because this is the part where the tent or the pole, the tension is going to happen in this year, all right? Because it already happened with all these hurricanes and crap. And also the 10 or the tension dealing with the tent or the pole will be exposed on the 23rd, who's spinning the axis from the center, all right? Remember, center, we're dealing with Zen or 10, the center. So a tenant is somebody who occupies an archdome or occupies a tent, for example. So all of the Indians in their teepees, anything that starts with TE is dealing with 10, like terra firma for the earth and TP, tent, okay? What's another one? Help me out here. I know there's some more tennis. Remember, there's a sport called tennis because it's dealing with this concept with a net in the middle, all right? And, you know, you can just see this all over. Central is central because the central part of the cosmos is the pole that pitches the tent, known as the Great Mother with her arms raised. This Great Mother pitches the tent on a microcosmic level, meaning your woman get the man aroused and pitches a tent in his pants, and that keeps life coming. The moment the woman can't make the man aroused, we stop reproducing. So her ability to use her horns or her antenna, okay, It's that magnetic energy that creates the figure 8 and keep this thing all going. But the shape of her formula is also the layout of the cosmos. This is very beautiful stuff. I try to explain it in my own way. Those who have ears, let them hear. Let's talk about this scepter, this 7 scepter. We do the etymology, it's septre. Remember, tre is 3, so scepter is spelled C-E-P-T-R-E, or you can put an S in front of that. Anything that starts with S-C is dealing with and what that is balance. Okay? What that is when you say stuff like scarab beetle or scales. Okay? We're dealing with the same phonetics. So, of balance, because the scepter is a tool of balance. Remember that a scab is the covering of a sore. We say it's scabbing up because it's a covering like nut. It creates a tent over your wound. All right, so you kind of put this together. The snake is the okay. Y'all getting me? I'm trying to get you to get the sound with the word, with the symbol, and you can see what's going on here. So she's the scapegoat. She's the scapegoat. Okay, the bull, her thought, the desecrated one. So everything they taught you about her, they made it scary. Okay. Everything they told you about the one with the scepter or with the scales, ma'at, they made it scary. But it's nothing but the scarab beetle or the kananga. So I hope that was a good way to kind of teach that to y'all. So let's read some more. From Old French scepter, from Latin spectrum. All right, the spectrum, you can see where you get the word spectrum, because spectrum encompasses all of the entire 360 of the light spectrum. All right, she's the covering. She's the spectrum or the spectrum. All right, which translates to royal staff. Royal staff. Okay, remember the goddess with the pole that I just showed you? Hold on. Give me a second, guys. Okay, here we go. So I'm giving you etymology of this scepter, which is what's here. Liberty is returning. Ma'at is returning, but there's going to be a 7-year tribulation before it fully happens, or a pregnancy. All right, and when and you know, this is symbolic of the cosmos. In the North Pole, the Great Mother creating balance from the center, and that's going to be alignment there on the 23rd. But that scepter can be looked at as that scepter can be looked at as this rod, this staff of Athena. This is Athena, the ancient mother goddess of Rome. And that shield would be equivalent to Leo. And that rod would be equivalent to the planetary alignment. And you see the serpent wrapped around it at the foot down there. That shield, I'm thinking, because you always got to consider Leo. And they told it different ways at different times. Remember, when you fast forward time today, if you look at what Leo doing, he's swinging the rod of his mama, killing the beast. So in other words, he's protecting his mama. All right, Leo protecting the virgin. So when I look at this, I think Leo probably represent that shield or the protector right here. And that alignment is in the mother's hand, like it is in the cosmology. Just like you see here, you see the great mother with a rod in her hand, and the serpent making the ladder 8 through infinity. That's that royal staff or that scepter. Remember, she had it before Leo. All right, before these deities like Leo or Judah or Yah, that was simply the mother. The womb existed before the sun. The darkness existed before the sun. Christians go to Genesis. All right. Mary is really the hidden power behind it all. The divine womb. Okay. The hidden one with the scepter. But again, they took her horns and caduceus and made it scary and turned the diva to the devil. All right. So she embodies the way you access to Kundalini and all of that. And you can't do it without the truth, which sets you free. You see here the goddess with the horns on her head, and she's wrapped up in them serpents around her body, because that's the alignment. That's Hydra. All right, like you can see, let me go back here. That's Hydra. I hope you guys can see this. This is a small one, but you should be able to still see. Oh, this looked like a good one. Oh, that one even smaller. Let me find a good one, because there's some good ones on here. You just got to search for them. Hey, thank y'all for tuning in. Here go a good one here. So you see how this serpent, if you take Leo away, all you got is a woman wrapped up in a serpent. And that's how you get her right there, okay? So you see in this picture, something else you want to pay attention to is the sun on her head. If you look at Ma'at, which is Isis right here with her caduceus, check it out now. She got the sun on her head. And let's go back to our story here of the alignment. What you'll realize is, hold on. Here, if you look at Virgo, she got the sun on her head. Isis is Mary or Virgo. So look at Virgo. Even in Revelation, it tells you she's crowned with the light of the sun. The sun is on her head. She's going to come back wearing a crown. Okay, listen to me, y'all. Pay attention. Look at Virgo. Look at the sun on her head. The word crown translates to corona. Corona is crown. All right? The goddess wearing the sun crown is Lady Liberty. Let me show you. You see the sun? She's crowned with the sun. And she's holding her caduceus up in the sky. The rod, the staff, the royal staff. You see? You see the sun corona on her head? Because I just showed you. Virgo, as you see here, will be crowned with the sun. She is Lady Liberty. She is the one holding this scepter here. And if you look at the top of this scepter, it's a crown or a corona. All right? That would be equivalent to Jesus. Because when you go back to your chart now, let's go back. All right? Let's pull up a good one. Because I want y'all to grasp this. Hold up. See, because I just had a good one up and it was big and it was lovely. Let me find it. How y'all doing out there today? You loving the knowledge? Are you liking the video? Are you sharing it? Please do so. I know it's kind of late, but I thank you for tuning in with me. These next couple of days are the most important ones in your life. And you might want to lose sleep to catch this. You know, it ain't gonna happen again for nothing like, the next 7,000 years. So woe to the sleepers. Woe to the sleeping ones. Okay, here in the ancient art here, and I'm looking for something else, but I stumbled across this. You see Leo slaying the serpent there. You see Leo with his paw on the serpent neck. You see Leo with his paw on the serpent neck. Or Hydra. That's what we're going to see in the sky. But what I was pointing out to you, and I got off track because I lost my slide, I had a good one up that shows Let's use this one, okay? Can everyone see Hydra right here aligned with Virgo and Leo? Let's just use this one. All right, so we see her crown with the sun. We know that's Lady Liberty. And she's holding a big old rod, which is the ecliptic, with the planets aligned. And remember, when Leo is not present, she's still crowned with her sun. You got to remember that. So when you're looking at this scepter, think about this. The staff of the goddess ends at the neck of Hydra. That means at the peak of this staff, the sun is swinging it. Remember that the last star in Leo's arms is Regulus right here. That's where he's swinging the rod from. And that's why Jesus is able to regulate, and Regulus is regal, and it also translates to royal, because you know the G is also the Y. Yes, the G is the Y. All right. When you say certain words, it's a G, but it's pronounced with a Y. Like there's an ancient word for the cosmos called Yggdrasil or something like that. But anybody that know phonetics know that the G can be pronounced as a Y. So regal can also be royal. So when you see Regulus in between Leo is how Jesus is able to regulate, swinging that staff down on the head of the serpent. But before Jesus was in the story, meaning before people looked up at the sky and noticed Leo, they always noticed Virgo holding a long staff by herself, striking the serpent, or either holding a long staff by herself with the serpent wrapped around it, or either they just said, look at Virgo with a serpent wrapped around her, and that became the serpent goddess, the goddess that's wrapped up in the serpents, or the tree of life in Genesis. So keep this in mind, and let's read some more about this royal staff. So while you look at this little picture in front of you and get information from that, I'm going to give you some more. This scepter would be the equivalent of the scales of Ma'at. So Liberty's scepter would be Ma'at with the scales, all right? Would be Mama Kali with the trident, okay? All right? Keep that in mind. So this scepter is the royal staff, or Regulus, by which she regulate. All right? It's known as the royal staff. Again, held by the goddess. So now the masculine part of this staff would be the crown or the corona. Remember that it's a beautiful story of the woman and her son protecting her, Leo doing it. But before she gave birth to Leo, she was protecting herself. And according to some ancients, when they looked up there at the story, they didn't see no fight. They just said as a virgin with a staff with a serpent wrapped around it. And that's how you get the serpent goddess with the caduceus and this and that. Or some people looked up there and said, hey, look at that virgin woman with that big old snake wrapped around her. And that became a sex symbol in Hollywood, where now every woman want to wrap a snake around them because they're playing with your subconscious. Every woman celebrity got some photo with a snake wrapped around them, symbolizing Virgo aligning with Hydra. And the alignment of the goddess holding her royal staff, Liberty coming back to regulate, flat power. Don't you keep this to yourself, share it with a friend. Hold on, y'all. Y'all still, okay, cool. So, this royal staff, from Greek skeptron, a staff to lean on. Isn't that right? She is the foundation, right? When I look at the Kemetic cosmos, I see Gaia laid out flat upon her foundation, And when you talk about her, you're talking about Nut and Closing Gab, the four foundations. She bent over, making contact with the ground with 4 points, 2 hands and 2 legs. All right? That's the foundation. The covering is the covenant. She protecting us. All right? So a staff to lean on, royal scepter. All right? So in transferred use, royalty. Y'all getting this? From root of skeptine, to prop or stay, lean on. Think about it. The pyramid leans on its 4 corners, and that's what supports the zenith. And it's founded by even in its leaning on each 4 corner, and all of the energy is balanced at the center. All right? So this is what they're giving you, this same mythology here. Let me see here. I think that's the end of this definition here. So that's all with that one. If you're looking at the caption in front of you, that'll give you some more good stuff you want to know. So again, the virgin wrapped in a serpent with the sun on her head is Isis and the Caduceus. All right, guys, these videos really need to go viral, okay? If you look at this stuff, what I'm giving you is stuff that we should have been decoded hundreds of years ago. So the time of revelation, people like me putting the pieces together, but we're going to be martyrs soon. We're going to be antichrists or science deniers, because what they're going to be saying is that, don't y'all see all of this stuff happen, and you still got people running around like me denying it, and we going through all of this? People gonna be like me, gonna be put to death, because with all the tribulations going on, ain't nobody gonna want to hear, conspiracy. They gonna really think that the Bible going on, and I'm one of these false prophets denying the coming of the Christ. So they wrote this in their book, knowing that during this time things will be revealed, and they wrote it in their book to punish those who doing the revealing. It's really deep. So when you look at Isis and the Caduceus, you got what you looking at. I really don't like this picture. It's just small. It got a lot going on. And we had a battle a minute ago. Let me try to find it. So thank y'all for bearing with me. I think what I'm gonna do is, okay, let me do this. Virgo, Leo, Hydra alignment. All right, I think I might just use this one. But what I don't like about this one is Hydra is cut out of the picture. Oh yeah, this is a good one. This is the good one. So I know this kind of small. What I'm gonna do is kind of blow it up for you some more, because I want y'all to really pay attention to the symbolism. I'm gonna make this a little bigger for you, and we're gonna look at this thing and go over it some. So you notice Virgo standing on the moon crest, clothed in the sun, or the crown, sun crown on her head. And think of this picture here. She is Virgo. In fact, she makes the letter V for Virgo. All right, she's a V. She's creating the letter V for Virgo, for vagina. Virgo translates to vagina. All right, vortex. Now, she's wrapped up in a serpent with the sun on her head. Here you go. Pay attention. You see Isis or Virgo here, wrapped up in a serpent called Hydra with the sun on her head. She's also standing on top of the moon crest. We can make that connection right here. Okay? Because often when you see this, the bottom portion, she's standing upon the foundation of the moon. The moon is the anchor. All right? It shows you all the phases of the mother. It basically shows you the formula of being foundated, of being balanced when it go through all its phases. So you can study the moon and really learn balance. It's so many ways to make it to the mother. And if you study any part of her creation, you find yourself back to the mother. So, you see, in this thing here, you got Lady Liberty or Virgo, clothed in the caduceus, which is Hydra. You see her corona sun crown on her head, and she's standing on the moon crest. Now I'm going to shut that down. You can make the parallel here. All right. She's covered in the serpent, standing on the moon, and there's her sun crown. Now we're going to move on to the next part. And again, I'm going to put this. Hold up a minute. Let me give you back your there you go. So I want y'all to keep looking at this little collage. Whoever made this, shout out to you. Oh, www.informedchristians. Shout out to y'all. I hope y'all so informed that you know Christ don't exist. I hope you informed Christians know that it's all Leo. Hello? Can I get a flat power? Because they seem to be making the connections of the stars, but they ain't making the connections that it's the damn government that's the devil and not no doggone great red dragon. How can you look up in the sky and see Draco being slayed by Leo and still be waiting on a damn serpent to pop out the sky like a fool? I'm sorry about that. But it's time. Time is running out, damn it. And it's time for the Bible thumping and the world religions to fall. So yes, I'm the Antichrist, and I'm coming to create the one world order and get us back to nature. Alright? But only this Antichrist ain't going to be slain. And I'm coming to make war with the beast. So, flat power. Let's get some more. If you look at this caption in front of you, you see a number 7, the number 9. You see a lot of significant numbers in here and a lot of good information that you can sync to the stuff that I'm teaching you now. So I'm going to let you guys look over this caption in front of you, and I want you to study that for yourself, because based on everything I've been teaching you over the past couple of days, you should be able to look at this chart in front of you and get a lot of insight. It's a lot of information there, so I'm going to leave it up there for a good portion of the video while I give y'all some good information. I'm going to be reading some stuff to you, and then we'll move on to the next portion. So, 7. The number 7, or septos, scepter. Remember that the 7 sisters is the Pleiades. Alright? Remember the 7 million men, 7-year itch, all of this type stuff. The word 7 come from the words septet. Alright? Again, one of the first Bibles that was written was called a Septuagint Bible. So all of these Bibles are calendars. They're not prophecy. They are mythological texts written with the rhythm of the cosmos that the ancients already knew. So these Bibles got the numerology and the code. They're books you have to decode. All right? And they got the mystery of the stars. Basically what the Bibles are is the same story all of the ancient temples are telling in a book. So they took it to the text so they can control the dialogue. That's how you get a New Testament or a New World Order. The Old Testament of the Bible was the New World of the Pharaoh. So I hope y'all getting this. So your first Bibles came up out of Egypt, where all of this deception on how to rule the masses based on as above, so below came to be. But we leaving this slave system now. So with the divinity of 7, the code of 7, came a Bible. Remember, 7 is septos, the Septuagint Bible, is encoded with the mystery of this sevenness, or the way this completion cycle happened. These Bibles are like cosmic wheels, but the people who wrote them are the only ones can interpret them. Therefore, it makes you a slave and it makes them the ones in charge. So let's get some more etymology of seven while you study this caption in front of you. Old English Seophon, meaning Seofon. Hey, that's kind of funny, right? Because seven is an angle, and it sounds like cell phone. And a cell phone was an L, a receiver and a transmitter. And that's kind of like what's going on with seven. You got two lines that's coming in the type positions to connect the form of V or a vortex, an angle, an angel. It's kind of deep, man, because everything we do, the shape of the devices we use, and also the name of them ties into spirituality, because the earth is a spiritual realm, and you can't escape the sound of a thing with what it really is at its essence. So saying cell phone, and if you think of how seven was pronounced Seofon, it sounds like it. And if you understand how they work, receiving, transmitting, negative, positive, we can't escape the continuum with them. We do. Even when you look at a camera, shit, you looking at the eye. You know, you're looking at the human eye, and also you're looking at the all-seeing eye. So it's looking back at you, that camera, as above, so below. Even the word camera, I can go in on the name of it for a minute and show you how that tie into, but that'll be being long-winded. Let's stay on track. Sebun, S-E-B-U-N, Sibun, all right? Sewing, S-O-W-E-N, dealing with knitting, because remember, neath, all right? Remember that the goddess who holds the rod with the serpent wrapped around it is the grandmother who's knitting a blanket with the needle and thread. Let me say that again. This is as above, so below, dealing with the feminine. I just showed you the goddess holding the caduceus. She holds this alignment, and Hydra is aligned with her during the end of the great year. So this is the string theory, and the Egyptian deity who was associated with that was Neith. And remember, I told you that the string theory is about DNA and making the number 8. So if you take the N off of Neith, you get 8, because it's spelled N-E-I-T-H. Neith is really Nath, or Neith is 8, or night. Night, the night sky is a big blanket of DNA. Okay? And when you see the mother, which is the womb, holding the rod with the serpents, it's showing you the power of her DNA. Like I said, the X chromosome is DNA itself. And one day y'all gonna see what I'm saying when I say that. Some of y'all already do. There's no such thing as mitochondrial DNA. What I'm saying is that the X chromosome is DNA. You started off a XX, man. I'm talking to you males. You was a female before you was a male in your mother's womb. Because male and female comes from X. X is the hourglass. Really, there is no DNA. There's only the X chromosome. Okay? Now, where was we on this etymology? Because the needle and thread, when you talk about the goddess Neith, her symbol is the Dogon Kanunga, or the number 8. All right? And what she represents is the rod with the serpent wrapped around it, the caduceus. And again, that would be the equivalent to the grandmother quilting the blanket. Needle and thread. Okay? Or a 3-man weave in basketball. All right? Here she is right here with the alignment. That line is the ecliptic. All of her suns or her planets will be aligned right there. This is the most even event in our life. When you say even, you're dealing with Eve. Eve is Isis. She was cursed for a reason, to hide balance. You was kicked out of the garden because you broke the covenant with Nut or Neith, or the DNA with your mother. And you was ruled over by the Pharaoh. That was the end of the family crest and the beginning of the national flag that we're under today. So the flags are going to begin burnt over the next 7 years. And what we hoping is that they don't create a new world order out of this, but that the people create our own order. So it's going to be interesting in times. But you see Virgo with that alignment in her arms holding that rod. And what will be next to her is Hydra wrapped around that rod. That's the goddess Neith with her needle and thread. All right? Her needle and thread. This is so it's also the equivalent of the goddess with the archbow. Whenever you're dealing with needle and thread, it's the same concept, creating tension. All right? So it is beautiful. It's beautiful. As above, so below. And now we're going to move on to the next portion. Let me close this out. Matter of fact, let's leave this open for a minute. We may need it again. Now let's read some more here while you look at your chart there. So 7 is what we're dealing with. And we get words. We see that in Middle Dutch, they used to spell 7, Zeven. Z-E-V-E-N. Zeven. Now we get to see how 10 is Zen, 7 is Zeven. All right, this is interesting stuff. You get Sibon, which I would think that Sibon became to be the root word of sibling. Sib or Sibon was 7, S-I-B-U-N, and we say sibling today because remember what 7 is. It takes 4 sevens to make a pyramid. All right. 4 corners. The 7 is just an angle, which means that these 4 corners are members of the pyramid. You have 4 major body members or major limbs that extend from your body, which are your 2 arms and 2 legs. 4. Those are your body members. And you have family members who you call siblings. And we see how sibling has a connection with 7 there. Because each member of the family is a cornerstone or an angle or an angel that builds the pyramid, that builds the entire pyramid. So this family is a trinity or a triangle or a tribe. All right? And this is what we had before we had nations. If you look at the royal beehive, all right, let me get you that for a minute. Royal beehive is a Britain concept of governing. Here, and it shapes like a triangle or a tent, a pyramid. And this is the British royal beehive. Remember that the country of Britain is a matriarch that's ruled by the queen. And that this is the structure. Basically, the royal families created nations out of their family crest. So everyone was royal and we all had family crest, and you ruled through the lineage of the woman with her connection with the plants. Your part of every human was born had a piece of land that was given to you by the mother. Just like everybody, every bee in the beehive got a position that it stands outward from the queen. Okay? When you think of a royal beehive, the crown at the top is the North Pole on the earth. This is as above, so below. This is how they was living in the pre-dynastic time before the pharaohs intercepted nature and put themselves in between the real ruler. And now when they try to rule, they can't get the measurements right. So they ain't good rulers. They ain't Ma'at. She the only one can balance it right. Man ain't gonna never even shit out right. Whenever you get them a slice of, put a pizza in the room with some man. guess what's gonna happen? They gonna try to eat real fast and eat faster than the next one so they can get the most. I know, because I was in the military and we used to order pizza, and if you didn't eat yours, it'll be gone, because men don't measure shit. We ain't balanced. But if you put pizza in the room of a woman's dormitory, when her roommate come home, she'll say, girl, we had pizza and I put yours up. And if you put 3 women with one pizza, they'll all fucking try to beg the next one to take the last slice. You get it, girl. No, you get it. Go ahead. You get it. Knowing that they all really want it. But you ain't got to ask a man twice. He gonna race for the last slice. We are not balancers, men. We're taking the role of the woman when we try to balance. It's like a man in the kitchen trying to season food. He ain't gonna get the spices right like the woman. So she's my aunt in her role. She's coming back, women. You are rising up, women. And it's going to be archangels like myself that's going to be blowing the bullhorn, signifying the resurrection of the woman and a divine feminine. I am your son. I am your brother. All of you women, I love you. All of you men, you need to start roaring, being Leo, blowing the bullhorn, preparing the way of Mother Nature to be restored. And it's going to take you being fearless, just like if somebody came in your house and start trying to rape your wife, you wouldn't stand there and do nothing, but you would stand there and let them rape your water. You'll stand there and let them vaccinate your children. You stand there and let them chemtrail spray you, because you say, I don't care if they killing me, long as they kill me slow like a fool. I'm going to go hard on you men, because they done softened us up over the past 7,000 years with all of these gay-looking gods. Jesus and these makeup-wearing deities like Krishna trying to take the role of the woman, like I've been showing you. And don't none boil my blood worse than seeing a patriarchal God in the place of the great mother. Don't nothing get up under my skin worse than that. And men, you ought to treat this like how the gangbangers do, man. If you go to another gang neighborhood and X out their gang sign, they gonna kill you. You ought to think of the same way when you see them X out the mother goddess from the mythology, from your spirituality, from your Akashic records. When you see that Greek mythology and all of this stuff that replaced Virgo with the men deities, and they create life without the woman, all of this Father, Son, Holy Ghost crap, it ought to boil your blood up, man. You ought to grit your teeth and want to hit somebody and roar like a lion like you got a pair. Now let's move on. You see here what make the bricks so great? They have a matriarchal concept. If you want to protect the womb, I don't know what you would protect. So we got to get back to this concept that you see here in the British Royal Hive. But again, this is a matriarchal concept that was hijacked with flags and nations. But they hold these secrets. The royal families have family crests, and they make a sigil out of all their family crests, and you get your national flag with that. So when they take you away from your sovereignty by taking you away from your connection with nature through the lineage of the woman, and your place in the cosmos through the science and everything you agree with, you build a matrix form. You build this matrix with your ignorance. Alright? Every brick is ignorance stacked upon ignorance, building a royal beehive for the royal families, where you're going to work your ass off until you start working what you need to work, which is your doggone brain, and then you can stop frying them burgers and mopping them floors when you use your doggone brain and work that more than you work your doggone behind trying to twerk. Ain't nobody in no time to play with y'all. Ain't nobody finna play with y'all. You're adults, you grown-ups, and we at a critical time. Ain't nobody finna come playing with y'all. Now let's continue. Let me get a flat power to my soldiers out there. We ain't gonna play with them. Let's get some more. So now this 7, I think we pretty much get it. All right, Simon, septum, or you can translate to sapta, S-A-P-T-A, which you can see the beginnings of Sabbath. All right, so let me show you the etymology so you don't think I'm making this up. We're looking at etymology online and we're looking at 7. And all I'm doing is reading the etymology, breaking it down for you because it comes natural to me. They ain't gonna tell you everything I'm telling you. I've been talking about this one little passage for like 30 minutes. But when you go to them, all you get is this. They ain't gonna break it down to you. So I'm really trying to show y'all something. When you look at the word 7, the S-E is say. S-E is say, or yes. S-E means yes, say. C. S-E is yes. And the last part is ven. Ven is the root word of Venus, or venue, or ventricle, dealing with the female vagina. So when you say 7, you really saying yes, Venus, okay? Because that's really what's happening. Venus getting a green light because Venus would be aligned in a very key role with the masculine, even with the pyramid chambers. I went over this. Venus is playing a crucial role in its alignment. Venus is the morning star. Okay? So 7 is yes, then. Pretty much another way of saying the Vesica Pisces. All right, 7 is go, the green light. It ain't stop, it's go. So 7 is yes, then. Green is earth. This is where you come and it all happens here. This the event, the main event of the cosmos. This the stage. Okay, so let's continue. Give me 1 minute. Don't y'all like getting it in? Anybody talking about they decoding mysteries and they ain't going this deep? Send them over here and tell them to learn before they teach. Flat power. I spent a lot of time in silence by myself. I earned the right to run my mouth. All right, because what I'm saying comes from nights and nights of me being up in darkness, quiet. So now it's time for me to blow my bullhorn and come out of the darkness with my research. And buddy, do they hate it? You know somebody is paying money to pay for thumbs down on my videos. They doing it on all of my channels. They don't have a lot of money, so they do it every other video. You know, you can go online and pay for thumbs down. And so the videos you see where I'm hiding the thumbs, it's so I don't give them no power. They wasting their money. They wasting their money. Because you can spend like $5 and you can get somebody like 500 thumbs down or something like that. So that's what they doing to hate on me, but it ain't going to stop the truth. Any thumb is a thumb. We love them all, okay? So stick that thumb right up your behind, you haters. And we going to keep on going with this. I love y'all, man. But I can't wait to finish these teachings so I can just open up the panel and talk to y'all. But listen, I done had my computer turned on for like 5 days and I ain't shut it down because I got so many tabs open and links open that I got to close and get to. I'm very OCD-ish, and until I complete this, I ain't even looking at the chat. That's just how I work. I'm very thorough. So give me a thumbs up if you like it, and remember, I will be opening that up. We're going to continue this. So Simon, Zevin, again, Zapta turned into Sabbath or Shabbat, Sabbat. It also means Hapta or Akta. Okay, as you can see here, Hapta. And the H is silent, so when you go to Akta, you can see APT is when we say stuff like aptitude. Okay, are you apt? APT relates to evenness and the triangle, because aptitude, and you know, you can tie so much stuff together dealing with etymology. We see another way they pronounce 7 was Shipta. And I think that's interesting because the ship all day is a balanced vessel that sails the waters just like the baby in the fetal and the human in the earth. We don't even have to go into that. Everything you do is in a ship. You know, you go through, you know what I'm saying? You got relationships, friendships, okay? So anyway, we're going to keep on. I think this pretty much wraps it up for 7. I think this is an interesting one. So 7 probably can be looked at as Set, but that's some research someone can take to the next level. I think it can be Set because right here it says Set. And I don't know the mythology right off my head, but what Set did in Egypt. But if Set did anything with separating or severing, then yes, that would be the same mythological energy. And finally, for the Welsh, is Seth, meaning when you speak. Remember in the Bible when you hear stuff like, thus saith the Lord, thus saith the Lord, can be translated to the darkness speaking the light into existence. The Lord is the ruler or the staff. Thus can be looked at as the primordial sea. Because we don't come from stardust, we really come from infinite cosmic energy. But thus is what we started from and what we go back to. Ashes and ashes, dust to dust. And we're talking TH but DU as well. DUST, Thus says the Lord can be translated to, if Seth means 7, and I'm probably reaching here. Only thing I'm trying to translate this to, if thus saith the Lord, can be another way to even say reincarnation or this celestial event. If the Lord represents the rod and the staff, and thus represents the virgin, and Seth represent the Leo or Jesus, the seventh day, which is the Sabbath. So y'all can tie all of that together because I'm stretching right now. I'm gonna close up this etymology because I'm addicted to etymology, and etymology have a tendency of making your brother Sanchez do something called reaching. But if you don't reach, you don't grab, right? They said reach for the stars, right? So all of this stuff about he reaching, that means he thinking. He trying to figure it out. He's critical thinking. He's exhausting all corners when you're being thorough in your research. All right? So ain't none out of your reach if you do a little stretching. Now let's go. Samhain is the name of the event where we are at today. And again, I'm going to keep this chart up there for about another 20 minutes, and I'm going to take it down. So I hope y'all been looking over that. And when I open up the open panel, this little chart that you're looking at now, if you want to discuss it, then I can put it back up when we have an open panel and we all can go over it, because it's a lot of information on this chart and it's telling us a lot. I looked over it, I read it twice, and I'm just telling y'all to do that during the show. Kind of look over it while I'm going through this, and we can talk about that because it's a lot of information there that they figured out. But that's just optional. Now, what I'm saying here now with this Samhain, okay, Samhain is the name of this festival that we're going to undergo. Samhain is a Gaelic festival. Remember, Gaia is the earth goddess. Samhain is a Gaelic festival marking the end of the harvest season. Remember that 7 is the Sabbath. It's the end, all right, of the celestial season. So at the beginning of winter or the darker half of the year, all right, so I only wanted to give you that to show you it's called Samhain, and in etymology, Samhain can translate to 7. Alright? And this was in 1888 when Samhain was introduced. So if you want to further your research on that, you can. One thing I want to point out is that everything dealing with September or Samhain or 7, like I'm showing you, it can't escape the number 7. So when you studying, you got to be an investigator and pay attention to everything. So when I read this to you and I say this is Samhain and it means 7, and like I was just linking up scepter, I went over that, you can go rewind it. But what I'm pretty much trying to teach you is how to be a good researcher. So Samhain equals 7. I can close this page up and just move on if I wanted to, but I'm not. You know why? Because I'm a diehard investigator. I always look for 7s where they don't exist if I'm researching 7. Researching is searching within and without, and it's a spiritual thing when you study. So I said all that to say, if you look at this year 1888, it equals 7, people. Triple 8 is 24. Plus 1 will give you 25. And 2 plus 5 is 7. So Samhain originated in 1888. And 1888 translates to 7 in numerology. So what you got to keep in mind is when you're researching these festivals and holidays, that the date is important. Always add the numbers of the date up to see their significance in relation to the whatever you're researching, just like I'm showing you here. So like I said, I could have just left after I told you Samhain means 7 too, and I could have closed this and I could have left. But I said, nope, let me add the year up and see if it equals 7, because they originate certain things at certain times. All right, because numerology, all of this is spiritual science. So Samhain, which is the Sabbath or 7th day, the festival for it started in 1888, which equals 7 in numerology. Now we're going to move on. So we move on, and what we find here is something that NASA was talking about. They said, what's up with September 2017? A lot of people were saying, Brother Sanchez, what NASA got to say about it? Nothing. Not a doggone thing. Because they ain't been saying nothing about it all this time. It's been their duty to hide it. So of course they're going to say nothing. Okay, I'm drinking a smoothie too, and this bad boy is on point. Man, boy. And if you want to learn how to make a Brother Sanchez smoothie, go on brosancheztv and put in smoothie in the video search. And I got a video where I'm making one of these smoothies that I'm drinking now. And buddy, if you watch that video and make one of these, you're going to say, thank you, Brother Sanchez, and you're going to be smacking just like me. Because these things make you just, they tart, but it's so good. Anyway, let's get on. Let's get on with it, man. Flat power. You can read this for yourself, people. I can't read. Okay, so let's read a little bit of it. We're going to read this. We already know NASA full of crap. They're not going to tell you the real significance of what's happening. But they will say a bunch of stuff to speak over your head so they can laugh at you. So you start reading this crap, and It say, what's up for September? Set your sights on all of this, blah, blah, blah. They sound like they some doggone tourists for your eyes, telling you what to look at and what to do. And this is how you miss it by listening to them. So anyway, let me just ignore what they saying and skip to the part that I'm looking for, where they giving you occult stuff. Because there's always a message in between what the bull crap they saying. And here it is. I found the bad boy. Man, boy, I gotta toot my horn once again, because man, boy, I be doing some very thorough investigation. Let me pat myself on the back and have a little moment. I don't do it often. I'm just playing. Let me humble myself and shut up and keep teaching. But anyway, all right, with all of this mumbo jumbo they talking about, you could pretty much pick this apart with crap. They ain't gonna tell you the truth. But why are they talking about Saturn? Think about it. It's always another story than the one they got. Whenever I open up the article, I look at the title of it and think the opposite. And I try to, if they say fire is found in here, I look for water. Okay? Whatever they telling you to look just like a little bitty boy, when he doing something wrong, he tell on himself. Because when you hide your hand, you saying that you hiding something. You be better off just acting normal. So why the hell are they bringing up Saturn when it ain't got nothing to do with Saturn, what's going on? Think about it. What they telling you, they say on September 15, the Cassini spacecraft ends its glorious Saturn science tour by plunging into the atmosphere of Saturn, becoming forever a part of the ring planet. They just told you some real occultic stuff right there. September is Saturn, y'all. Sabbath. This month is represented by the planet Saturn. Okay? Y'all get it? We're in the celestial Sabbath. In other words, it's Saturday for the universe week, for the celestial day of the week, or the great year. We're in Saturday. And it won't be Sunday again until the next 7,000 years. This is the time where all of the tension balances out. Saturn is a planet that symbolizes balance. So think of you shaking up a bunch of objects, and it's going to take them a minute to settle out. If you shake up a bunch of balls, they're going to be bouncing, man, for about a couple of minutes after you shake them until they find their balance again. And that's what's happening. There's been a shaking. There's been hurricanes, because this beast ain't going to go easy. So he's going to shake us, but it's going to all balance back out. Y'all, we riding a wave right now. Okay? And they telling you this up over your head. NASA speaks to your subconscious. And it's kind of like predictive programming, where the universe feel like they told it to you. It's kind of like a glitch in the computer where they found the way to actually, I hate to say this, but they found the way to cheat the Most High. I hate to say it. They are geniuses, but they are evil. Everything they do is science. So when you read all of this, you get programmed, and the universe felt like they just told you it's them doing the attack. So why you ain't striking back? So if they start attacking us when this alignment happened, the universe interpreting that is, they told you they was going to do it. They told you, but they told you in a way where you didn't really listen. Alright? I think that's the purpose of predictive programming. Is them programming your subconscious, because they creating their own story. When they write history, they never tell the truth. So when you long gone 100 years from now, they can rewrite this whole alignment as a planetary war that took place in the heavens, and we came here from Mars. Well, really, it was just a perfect alignment where they start attacking the people. But if they kill up a bunch of us, the few people that's left, they can program them a new truth. And the children gonna learn a new lie, and it's gonna be a new Bible telling a whole other new lie, misinterpreting the language of the stars and they'll have a chance to rule for another 7,000 years until this event happen again. So I hope y'all see how this works. So it's telling you here they crashed Cassini into Saturn, and Cassini translate to Ka and Sini. Pretty much what you get when you put spirit with Nagini. We know the Ka is the soul, and the Nagini is a mythological creature that represents the essence of who you are. You're the genie trapped in the bottle, or the ice-capped globe, and when they spin this globe or rub that lamp, you grant their wishes, people. We gotta get off this globe concept. We're the genies in this bottle, or stuck to this mythological globe, and that's gonna happen over the next couple of years. We're gonna get off of this fully. Most of us are off of it because all of y'all are Black Panthers anyway, so we're talking to the globalists. So, you know, Cassini translates to Nagini. And the Nagini in Saturn, I don't have to go no further. Saturn is nothing but balance, all right, or Satan. Satan is the Nagini, or the great dragon, you know, with the tail. I don't have to go into that, do I? Y'all tracking? All right, let's keep going, because I want to rush through this, and I don't even want to look at this NASA paper no more. I'm going to close this crap out. I think I taught you from that one line. You can learn how to decipher the code when you research. So let's just move on now. All right, and let me get some more slides together. I can't wait to end this thing, man, and just build with you guys, ask questions, and talk to y'all. Hopefully this will be the last video, depending on how much information I got. Look like I can finish this in another hour, and I think that's great, because then we can all talk about it together. I'll even stay up if y'all still up. So let's finish this on out, because it's a lot of more knowledge I got to give you. But I want to close some of this stuff I ain't using no more, because ain't no need of keeping it open. Yeah, there's two of the same thing. I got one right here we can use. Now I got a couple of tabs open. All right, so fall. It's the time that we're in. Remember what I'm telling you? It's fall time. All right. What make this fall different than any other fall is the reason why we name this season fall. You're gonna see now. Remember what I told you? It's gonna appear like the sky, like the stars are falling to earth. If you go outside right now and look at the sky, it's lit up. I mean, it's twinkling. It's so much star activity, even in heavily populated cities. When you get off of this thing, it's gonna still be dark time. Go out and look at the sky when I get off of here. Look at how the sky just lit up. It looked like the sky is falling, like the world ending. It looked like the stars falling to earth. Remember in the book of Revelation, it say that the great beast, his tail is gonna kind of drag down all the stars from the sky. If you read the book of Revelation, it tells you that this constellation Hydra, which is the beast, is going to swing its tail and knock down stars onto the earth. And people think that is literally going to happen. People think a real beast, and it ain't funny. You got to laugh to keep from crying, because it ain't funny. People literally think a real beast going to come in the sky and knock the stars onto the earth. That's not funny. All right, that's sad. So to those people, what that means in the scripture is that this serpent Hydra, all right, is going to appear at a time where the stars appear close. So let me find that scripture for you. It tells you that the serpent, the tail of the serpent, will swipe down a quarter, something like 75% of all the stars of heaven. And if you look at this serpent, his body is parallel to the entire ecliptic, or the entire alignment of those planets. So Hydra gonna be parallel from his head to his tail, gonna sweep down more than half of the heavens. All right, and it's gonna appear close as hell in the sky, just like it's doing outside right now. The stars appear closer than they ever been. So this dragon knocking the stars onto earth is just mythological sense of Hydra appearing, which is the dragon, when everything appeared close. And this became to be known as fall, because the people who named it fall, they thought the sky was falling. They saw the leaves falling off of the trees. They saw all of the plants with the leaves falling. They looked up at the sky and saw that doggone, the sky looked like it's falling too. Okay? That's why in Revelation is talking about all of this sky falling and the dome breaking. The dome will never break. And when you talk like that, you break the covenant with nature. This place is stable. And whenever you question its stability, you open up a gateway for a program to be created to assist the creation, because you saying the Most High don't know what it was doing when it built this place, and man got to intervene and take your tax money because you think God dumb and man smarter. Slap yourself. Quit breaking the covenant. Now let's move on. So this is fall time, because it's going to appear like the sky falling. Alright, during this time the stars appear close. Not just because the leaves falling, but the people who named this fall, they was ignorant, alright, and they thought the sky was falling. This is not even called fall in other places. You got to realize that. Okay? Everybody don't call it fall. Around the world it's different for them. It's fall to the people who gave us the fear-based interpretation of it all. And I'm tired of it. You ought to be too. It's being scared ain't gonna get you nowhere. So why don't you conquer every fear you got? You can't change nothing about nothing. If you die, you just die. You got to have a type of attitude, man, where you're just neutral. You're balanced. And you just know that the Most High got it all under control, no matter where you find yourself. You just got to be comfortable. And when you start panicking, you make leeway to deities like Pan. Now Pan is the god of panic. He causes women to panic because he rapes the women, and so now the women got to put on pants to zip up their vortex and close the tomb. That's the time we in now. Mother Nature being raped by the patriarchs. Okay? Think about what I'm telling you now. Pan is the equivalent of them replacing Virgo. Pan is the child of Dionysus. Dionysus is Virgo and Pan is Leo. That's homo. And it's all homo. You don't replace the mother with another man and think you still gonna have a tribe when the root word of tribe is Trinity, and you can't have balance without man and woman. You living in a homosexual Greco-Roman culture, and it's gonna end now. And this culture has affected all of us. This ain't a shot to nobody. Everybody affected by this madness in some way. So the man no longer gonna switch his hips. He gonna stand upright because he's the rod, and the woman can wrap around him like she's supposed to because she's that beautiful serpent. So when he stops switching, she can get her position back and switch her hips. Because I'm telling you, boy, it's crazy. Now let's move on. We're in a time of fall. When I think of autumn, I think of gold. AU is the abbreviation for gold. That's honey or oni, yoni. The gold is between her legs. So when you think about gods like Pan and Dionysus that replace Virgo and Leo, that's homosexual. We don't go that route. Flat power, if you're a homosexual and you're a flat panther, I love you. Okay? And I ain't gonna say nothing bad against you. I love you. I'm going to tell you something right now, and anybody can debate me on this. This for all of my homosexual brothers and sisters, because we refer to homosexuality a lot. Let me tell you what I think about you. I think you're awesome. And I think you are plagued. Let me tell y'all something. A lot of these people you see who are homosexual, and I'm getting off subject, it's certain part of their diets, certain chemicals, and all of that shit. Trust me, and a lot of people gonna want to debate it with me. We can do that. And I'm gonna bring up a scientist who almost lost his life with an experiment where he showed where when you put some of the stuff that in our foods and in some of our diets and give it to these male frogs, they become homosexual. His name was Tyrone Haynes or something like that. Y'all need to research him. He was famous. He proved that homosexuality didn't come from birth, but that is programmed into certain babies and in certain diets, and got something to do with it's a mental thing similar to any other mental disease like autism or something like that. You could have had it depending on them giving you a certain diet combination, a certain shot, and y'all might think I'm lying. Now, of course, there's just some people that's doing it by choice. But to see this in society was all programming. You're not going to get me to lie and say that in the beginning it was something called homosexuality, not me. Because I don't believe that the Most High created it. I believe that in the beginning we was all the way it's supposed to be. And then the programmers came along and started manipulating these humans and these souls and these different people. And you can argue that with me. I ain't giving nobody a pass. But I got a sympathy for all people in their walk of life. Flat motherfucking power. Let's keep it moving. Now, let me digress and get back to this lesson. So fall will appear of these stars being the closest, all right? And that's something right there. You think about it, that debunks the globe. I got a couple of notes, and I'm going to show you how in a future video. Because the moon is supposedly farthest from the sun, I think, but yet it's going to be shining at its brightest. Let me get a flat power. That debunks the globe, right? How can the sun be reflecting the light? Excuse me. How can the moon be reflecting the light of the sun if during this time the sun is going to be so-called furthest from the moon or something like that, and the moon going to be at its brightest? So I might be getting that wrong. That's why I didn't want to go into it before looking at my little notebooks. But I'm going to make a future video on that. Somebody take that concept and make it before me. You will really be helping me out, okay? That's a little 5-10 minute video you can make that'll debunk the globe. Because the sun and moon, this whole event going to be having a lot of things that you can observe that's going to be nails in the coffin for the globe. So to my flat earth brothers, let's get busy, all right? Some of this stuff happening, man, oh man. So this is why the beast time is short, because the truth is coming back again. Lady Liberty coming back to bring liberty. What frees a people is truth. Truth sets you free. So we can't be free until it's a lot of people given the revelation. We're in the book of Revelation. So once it's all revealed, the book closes. That's the end of the New World Order. And we go back to the old world from which we left from. And we go on back enjoying this earth, creating the heaven for ourselves that we know we can. Because you don't go to heaven, people. You create it. Now, this is a good little website here. What's going to actually go into detail and kind of tell you everything that's going to go on. Venus, Mars, and Jupiter create dramatic scenes throughout October. On the 28th, the three form a tight triangle. Jupiter, Venus, and Mars. Don't you get it? So in October, it's harvest time. Y'all need to interpret this. October is harvest time, meaning recreation or having sex, the symbol of 8. Man and woman bumping uglies, creating children. Think about it. October 8 Sex, recreation, male and female, creating the Trinity, which is the child. Think about it. In October, which is 8, or recreation, you have Mars and Venus, which is man and woman, and Jupiter above them, creating the zenith of the pyramid that the three form. This is celestial science at its best, people. The sky is talking to us. Jupiter is a male deity that pretty much just means the great mother. Alright? Jupiter is Jupiter or Iupiter, or this is why someone who's under the influence of Jupiter, we say that they are jovial. And when you say Joe is the root word of jolly or jolly. You know, have a holly jolly Christmas, because the J is the H, the holly is the jolly, it's holy or it's jolly, because Jupiter is just another way of the great mother balancing the scale. All of these planetary deities with these names, whenever they're in a form of power, they are embodying the powers of the great mother. And you look at this alignment here, Jupiter is actually in the position of Ma'at. So you get the name Jupiter. And remember that the great red spot, everything they give you with Jupiter is dealing with feminism. That great red spot that they give you on a CGI Jupiter is Aldebaran. Or in this case, it'll be Mars. You can look at the stuff that they're giving you as a telling of this same story, but I ain't gonna make it too deep for you. I can go in on this thing and make it like a continuum. But keep that in mind. Jupiter coming with Venus and Mars. It's the great mother coming with the sun and the moon. So let me just give you a mental picture of what the god Jupiter looked like, so you can make some parallels to the great mother. You see, he controlling the sky, the weather. But if you look here, what he got in his hand is a rod that belongs to the mother. That's this alignment that's taking place. Like I told you, his planet is that great red spot is Nibiru. They telling us the same story over and over and over and over again. Each planet is the story told in a different way. Each god is the same story of this 7,000 event that happens every 7,000 years. Think about it. Zeus translates to 7. The name Zeus has all the phonetic words, alphabets, and sounding of Zevin or Sibin. You're dealing with the same. We just did the etymology of 7. We went over all the ways you could pronounce it. You can see that Zeus is where you get Jesus or Jesus from. He predates Jesus. Alright? He's a form of Jupiter. It's all them taking away the great mother, and they're trying to bring balance. But since man can't balance the scales, what he do with the rod is hit you in the back of the head with it and put you to work. So the mother rule with balance, giving everybody everything equal, 50-50, so it won't be no complaints. That's what she does with her staff. She hid it in the water and she split the great sea even amongst her children. Balance. That's the splitting of the great sea, the splitting of the pie. The earth is a pie. And we all pull our energy from the center of this pie called the North Pole. Every human is pulling wireless energy from the magnetic pole. Just like when you open up a pizza box, everybody pulling a pizza slice from the center of the pizza. And if you don't cut it all the way to the center, you won't be able to pull your slice. It'll be stuck to it. So this centering have to be, complete, severed. You got to slice it all the way to the center. You got to sever it. Everything we do is this same knowledge, okay? So Zeus is another form of the great mother when he put the rod on the water and split the sea, because he's a form of Moses and all of them, Abraham. Abraham is Brahma, okay, in the East, all right? And the reason I'm able to teach you all of this, I didn't have to study a bunch of books. I just looked at the symbols of all I had to do was go to the foundation and find out that the Great Mother was the original deity on earth. And then after that, everything else was copycats. So really, my whole teaching is me exposing the copycats, putting the Great Mother back where she belonged. All right, that's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing. Exposing these homos and these patriarchs and putting Mother Nature back where she belonged. Flat power. She don't belong at his side all slumped over him like that. All right, that ain't the place of the woman. This right here is blasphemy. And this is how you get this man world today of a submissive woman who will stand by and let her children be poisoned. In fact, she will hand over her child to the beast in the abortion office. This world gotta end, y'all. It gotta end. All right. So now let's continue on, because we know that Jupiter's symbol was the bull, and a bull is the mother goddess. Here he is right here with her trident, y'all. Okay? So do I have to keep on going over this? No, because I hate looking at patriarchal deities and make my blood boil. Let me move that out my way. I like to see the mother where she belongs. The hell with Jupiter, the hell with Jesus, and all the rest of your male deities that's in the doggone way of you get the truth that will free you. When you stop believing, you can know what's going on. It ain't a matter of belief, it's a matter of fact, doggone it. Now let's continue here. We got that out the way, how Jupiter playing that role there in the harvest time. And we got this tab out the way. We getting closer to the open panel. All right. So let's keep on. We went over Dionysus in one of the previous videos and how his, I was going to say something very foul. Let me calm down. He replaced the mother, okay? Night of the Hunter, which is, this Night of the Hunter is the headless horseman concept of the Great Mother coming to sever the tree. She's doing a little pruning. So this alignment that's going to sweep across the ecliptic, you can be looking at it as a little pruning job, and it's going to grow us another tip of that tree. 7 years from now, there'll be a new arch or new branches on the tree, new paradigm, new thoughts. The headless horseman tells this story. This is called a second harvest. All right, what we're in, the harvest of the wine, which is linked to menstruation. Okay, this is the part of the woman where she cleanses herself. It don't smell good. It don't feel good. It can ache the stomach, but it's a cleansing. It's a tense time, but it's necessary. All right, to get us where we need to be. So this is called the witches' Thanksgiving, because the moon, all right, which is linked to the witches, all right. Remember, the broom is the bridge of all worlds. All right, let me not take you there. Let me stick to the text. Let me wrap this up. Y'all know I get all over the place. With the witches' Thanksgiving, okay, red, orange, black, and white. So red, black, and white symbolizes the color of the Chicago Bulls team, because this is the colors of Hathor, which is the whore with the hat on, or the whore who's wearing the horns. Hathor is Hathor. All right, not these girls with all the weave on. Your natural hair is your crown. Weave don't turn gray. Let me tell you something. Moon is linked to silver. All right, and moon is silver light. And moon is linked to wisdom and old age, and our heads turn silver when we are ripened by the moon in what's called a second harvest, or after your adulthood you enter seniorship, which is when you become a monarchy or a person anchored by the moon arc, and a symbol of that crown is a gray head. Your head becomes ripened with wisdom, and silvery like the moon. But if you wearing weave don't turn gray. That ain't your natural hair. I just saw a video the other day where they was taking this woman weave off and it was a bunch of maggots just eating through her head. Do nothing that's unnatural, women. Stick to what's natural and you'll be okay. Now let's move on and remember, women, that you are witches. You're witches, okay? Embrace it. Start practicing your magic. Get into voodoo. Do the stuff they tell you not to do. Look at a little bit of Satan symbols and Lucifer symbols and let your heart be jolly. When you start studying the Satan symbols and the Lucifer symbols, it will bring you great peace. Now, a lot of people gonna crucify me for that because they still under this indoctrination and they still don't get what I'm saying, that Satan is the great mother, and they got you scared of your cure. So, okay, as long as you got fear, you can't have love for nature. Fear and love can't occupy the same space. You can only do one or the other. And I would debate anybody on that. Hey, shout out to my brother John L. Gray. Make sure you subscribe to his YouTube channel. And let me continue this. This is autumn. Remember, R is gold. And like I said here, the second harvest, when ripe acorns fall, when you get ripened in wisdom, we're entering adulthood on a celestial clock. And if you ain't caught up, you better be. Nature ain't waiting. Now you got to step up. This whole thing about increasing your consciousness before the pole shift, that's a bunch of spookism. It's reaching a place of neutrality in all of this. If you tuned into this, you already vibrating where you need to be. Not high, not low, but right in the center. We just neutral, we observing. When you reach a crossroads, you don't go left or right. You stand there, you sit down, and you have a good day. Okay? That's what you do. So, I think I'm going to pretty much shut this down. We know that this solar magic has always been known as the return of the sun serpent. And we know that's nothing but Hydra. The Mayans, and if you think about the Mayans. Alright, okay, now I'm going to leave this up here for you. So the Mayans of Central America have also honored the equinox for 10 centuries. They have told their unique celebration using their ancient knowledge of the sunbeam. El Castillo is the name of their great pyramid of the equinox, and as the sun sets on its western face, light and dark complement each other, creating a very special pattern of a diamond-backed snake descending the pyramid. And you can see that in the top left corner. You can also see to the right that the pyramids of Giza, as well as the ones in New Mexico, basically telling you all of the ancients was saying the same thing to us. We need to listen. Their temples are speaking at this time. All right, because all of them was on the same page, and they weren't divided and conquered like us today. So we need to get our heads out of our anal. Okay. Now, if you look at Mexico's pyramids, they're the same way as Giza. And not only that, there's ones in Angkor Wat that's aligned with certain things with this event, and we're talking about the temples in the Maltese as well. So we're going to keep reading a little bit here. Let me make sure that I'm not missing nothing. So we know that this is called the dragon being pinned by the spirit. And the sword is the earth energy currents, because the sword is the tree of life that's stabbing the earth at the center. A magnetic pole penetrating through the ground from the sky. You know, if you ground an object and suspend one into the atmosphere, you can create electricity. Tesla was trying to tell them that. If you take a balloon and let it ascend at a certain height, and then take that wire and run it to another wire that's grounded from the ground, just by you having two objects in two areas of where occupying different sort of dimensions of the cosmos, it'll give a polarity, create energy. I'm simplifying that overly, but you can look more into it. Something that's non-grounded and grounded will begin the energy current of the earth plane, and one will begin an energy current coming straight from the atmosphere. It's like negative and positive, or you really tapping into gab energy below you and nut energy around you, and you creating power with masculine and feminine. You can actually power your house like that. So what we're saying at the North Pole is there's a sphere, a magnetic pole penetrating masculine, feminine, okay, penetrating the whole, and that's the tree of life. It creates a shield or a magnetic field based on that sword stabbing into the earth and coming down, descending in and out and around the earth, making a figure 8. And that energy, I think, is, you can see it physically. I think the night sky actually falls onto the earth. That's just my belief, though. Maybe it's nothing there but great pyramids and, cities, and just what's the pole is an invisible energy current there. But who knows? I think it's something very spectacular. But that's just me. Now let me move on. So all of this of creation of our cosmos and the shape of our infinite earth, it can't be, it can be the code of the creation, meaning the building layout of the cosmos is going to be flashed in the sky on the 23rd. Okay? So take what you get from that, and you can see how important this alignment is. It's a formula. Like I say, it's also E equals MC squared as well. This is a lot of things. So let me make sure there's nothing else that I'm missing. If I come up with something later, then I'll just keep doing videos till I exhaust all of my knowledge on this, because I think y'all enjoying it anyway. So the autumn equinox of Ireland's latitude is, think about this, right? The autumn equinox for Ireland's latitude in 2014 is on the 25th of September, as this is the day of just 12 hours and 0 minutes and 51 seconds. So don't pay too much attention to the math. Think about the numbers. The autumn equinox for Ireland in 2014 is on the 25th of September. Think about that. 2014 equals 7, people. I told you, whenever you researching, to always add your dates, add your numbers for numerology. In 2014, the autumn equinox for Ireland's latitude was on the 25th of September. And it was, it'll give you the latitude and all of that. But I was just pointing out, I'm reading this article, 2014, again, that's a year of 7. When you get to 7 and 10, you're dealing with cornerstones or renewal. It's a 3-year period, or 3 units from 7 to 10, dealing with death and rebirth. Okay? And it even takes 7 months in pregnancy to have a baby. 7 to 9 months. All right? Really no later than 10. So you see how you get this 3-month grace period even in pregnancy. So 2014 was year 7 again, numerology, and it was on the 25th of September that happened in Ireland, and 25 is 7. All right, so this is real deep stuff. I'm just reading along. Remember that the 23rd of this month is going to be on a Saturday. And the 23rd is our big main event. It's the celestial Sabbath, and and it's on our weekly Gregorian calendar as Sabbath. So their calendar, think about how important this is, y'all. The Gregorian calendar ends on the 23rd, the book of Revelation closes, and the celestial Sabbath is on the 23rd, and September is Sabbath. We're in the 7th month, okay? And this is your lucky sevens, 777, craps, jackpot, jack coming out of the box, jack in the box, all right? So, you're in the 7th month. It's going to be happening on the 7th day, which is Saturday, the Sabbath. And this is the 7,000th year of the great wheel. 777. Okay, people? Remember in Revelation, you had 7 vials, 7 seals, and 7 trumpets. Lucky 7. Giving you 21, which is 3, the Trinity. That's 3 pyramids. 3, again, is the point of singularity. 3 is both of your eyes and your third eye. In fact, let me show y'all something real quick. I have a computer program that I make music with, and it's called Reason. And reasoning is something you do when you use your third eye, right? But in this music making program, they have a very distinct logo. Let me show you. The logo for Reason is this right here. Both of your eyes with your third eye above it, or the Celtic knot. Hold up. You see? Here's the Celtic knot right here. This is the symbol for recycling or renewal or resurrection, death and rebirth. This is the time that we're in right now of the goddesses. So this is the time of reasoning. All right? Everybody know this but us. You mean to tell me the people who made the music logo and they named it Reason, that they just was making that up? No. Those 3 boxes are the 3 cubes they're marching around in the Middle East, or the 1 cube. But you know it take 3 yonis to make a cube. Those 3 yonis are the goddess portal, people. It takes 3 yonis to make a cube. That's your goddess portal. Remember that the yoni is the female vulva. It's simply telling you that V plus V equals X chromosome or hourglass life. It's a trinity. So to see how this relates to the cube, let's do this. Let's do a cube. And again, thank you guys for staying up with me. It's a very important time. You don't want to miss the stuff I'm showing. You can sleep later. This event happens every 7,000 years. A little sleep deprivation ain't gonna hurt you. We're gonna form a cube here, and it's not the most perfect cube. It looked like a little log, but it'll still make my point, okay? Let's go ahead and do that. So we got our cube box here. This cube is the box that Jack sits in. Jack in the box. This cube is the vagina, the fetus of your woman, the womb of your mama is what this cube is. And when the baby is born, Jack pops out of the box. But you can only make this cube with 3 diamonds. A trinity of diamonds. There go a diamond right there. Look at the diamonds as a diva. Think about these geometrical shapes called diamonds as mother goddesses. Because a symbol for the diamond is just the vagina or the clip. In other words, if I showed you this symbol right here that's in purple, that can be looked at as the womb of a woman, you see, or a yoni, or oval, all right? And 3 of these yonis is how you get the cube right here. This is known as the goddess portal or the 3 witches. And another way you can see this cube is right here. They are the reason we're here right now. And it's not physical witches. It's the X chromosome is a trinity. It's 2 V's making the point. When the arrow point up and the arrow point down, that's balance, man. If you take your hands and smush them together evenly, they'll be in the center of your face because you 50-50. One arrow pushing toward that 50-50. That's how you get the X chromosome, people. Let me show you what I mean real quick. This is the equivalent of X or balance. The X chromosome is balance. And it, like I said, this is DNA itself, women, you're special. So X marks the spot. Where the dot is where the balance is. All right? The tension or the tip of the pyramid, the peak. You got me? So that's the X chromosome, and it's a trinity known as the goddess portal, and it's how you form the cube or the house, the home. Just like I just showed you a minute ago, it takes 3 diamonds to make the cube. They call it the hex, but the H is silent. It's really the X or the X chromosome, which is the original trinity. Now let's get into a little rich symbolism so you can see how this works. You see this is a trinity, a cosmic wheel called a Celtic knot. And it's the 3 witches or the 3 spirals, the 3 vortices that creates the gateway in the middle, the womb. And this is another way of just saying the X chromosome with X marking the spot like I just showed you, or the phases of the moon. Waning, wax, and full are either non-existent. That's the cosmic breath. New moon. So this trinity, what you're looking at now is a collage I put together for you to show you how this ties into the goddesses and the witches. Why I keep telling y'all about all of this stuff about witches and Halloween and harvest time, okay? So that you can see the Vesica Pisces in the top right corner. And you also know that the Vesica Pisces, let me go ahead and make this smaller so I can read it to you. The Vesica Pisces is the crucible of the creating process and opening to the womb from which all geometric forms are born. I just showed you in paint how this sacred geometry works. So a symbol of the fusion of opposites, all right, when polarity creates trinity, and a passageway through the world's apparent polarities, the geometric image through which light was born, also the geometry for the human eye, which is a polarity of left and right lens that creates one point or one tip. And when you focus your attention, you create a pyramid with your vision of sight. Everything plays out in a yoni or a pyramid, even the way you see. You see at the middle of these 2 eyes where you focus in that point appears like a yoni. And that's life. What you pay attention to, you give life to. What you speak, you give life to. We haven't known this, so this magic has been used against us for the last 7,000 years. So as you can see here, this is some artwork of 3 ladies up here called the Cosm Celestial Celebration. And they're having this Saturday, September 20th up in New York. While everybody else talking about the world ending, it's some people up in New York who know what I know, and they having a little celebration. Shout out to them. Everybody's not scared. Everybody's not fear-mongering. There's a lot of people celebrating the Witches' New Year right now. And like I said, you all should do it. It's the time when you embrace fear, people. You got to embrace the fear to conquer it. Whatever you're scared of, embrace it. Love it. Okay, become the monster that you're scared of. Because when you say monster, you're saying moon star. And we're all stars of the monarch. Remember, the moon is the anchor, the crest. All right? So think about that, guys. In this cosmos, what is there to fear? This is all about conquering fears. When that happens, the system ends, but it's going to take 7 years. We're going to go through so much hell that by then you'll be addicted to, you'll be used to fear. We're going to see so much over these next 7 years that if your fears are not taken way after this and you become a soldier, if you're still alive, that I don't know what's going to bring you back to godhood. But fear cannot exist in your next phase of evolution, brothers and sisters. If somebody come up in your house right now and put a gun to your head, you need to still be sipping your tea like, what's up, man? What you doing? That's the state we're trying to get to. Knowing that we infinite energy and we're not humans like we've been taught. We are spirits in the spiritual realm. This is it right here. Okay? So, if you look at this celebration they having in New York, I like the artwork they got. But what I want you to pay attention to, let me see if I can't blow this up a little bit more and bring it to the forefront. Give me a minute. So let's bring this to the forefront and blow it up just a little bit more. If you're looking at this one that I'm moving, it's shaped like a spade. So the goddess portal is the spade. You know what I'm going to do just for y'all? I'm going to give you a sneak peek into a future lecture right quick since I got that symbol up. Here you go right here. So this is called a spade when we playing cards. It symbolized the great mother or the three witches, the goddess portal. The root word of spade is spa. And a spa is a relaxing place where women go. And a spa is dealing with water. And water is dealing with Wa, Nu Wa. The waters of Nu, the woman. So if you look at this autumn equinox art, this triple goddesses form the spade. Remember that the spade is the trump deck. And we in a time of trump right now, the time of the trumpet, the time of the great mother, the time of the spade, the time of the bicycle. These are bicycle playing cards. The bicycle is the polarity cycle. The spinning of the wheel of the duat, exposing the trinity that's been hidden from you. The duat is an illusion. Amounts don't exist. This is an infinity. You're not a human. You're a spirit in heaven. But you've been under illusion of a matrix the past 7,000 years. You see here how you get bicycle cards, and the ace of spades is the goddess or freedom, Isis, Venus, Aphrodite, Athena, Minerva, Virgo, Virgin Mary, Our Lady of the bicycle. That's what we're ending now. This is the end of one bicycle or a binary cycle, a complete spinning of the wheel. So when you look at a bike with the two wheels spinning, it's the chain in the middle that's causing them to rotate. That chain is the DNA equivalent of the woman, the number 8. So think of pedaling a bike. The wheels won't spin without the chain. She's the link. She's the DNA, all right, of negative and positive, or masculine and feminine. Sun, moon, she's the black hole. She's the link between it all. Even the link between the worlds. Okay, so think of the demonstration I did in paint on the previous videos with the 2 9s and how it looked like 2 wheels, and in the middle of those 2 wheels that I created in paint, you had symbols of eternity. Whoever watched the last video, you remember the demonstration in paint. Well, think of a bicycle. 2 wheels, and in the middle is a chain. Remember what a chain is. It's a link, a portal, a gateway. Infinity. DNA. It's what glues everything together, not no doggone gravity. It's the mother, her magnetism. Alright? So I hope y'all get it, man. It's very simple, okay? So this is your spade concept. Now I'm going to remove that, and I got a future video coming up about the spade. If you haven't subscribed to Bro Sanchez TV, that's my main channel. Make sure that you do so. Now we're going to get back to this collage, finish it on up, and clear this screen and move closer to ending this thing because, you know, I'm ready to go ahead and just kind of share what I know and move and keep it moving. I got flat earth, globe earth debates coming up. So we still at war with the heliocentric lie. That's never going to stop. Shout out to Ali Muhammad. He was the brave one to step out from the black conscious community. Got love for the entire community. I just got information I want to share with that community. And I don't think they should, you know, keep it from themselves. You don't have to agree with what I'm teaching, but be exposed to it so you can have both sides of the story and make the proper choice, all right? If it's something you don't know, don't you want to know it? But if you don't know it, how can you say it's wrong? What I'm teaching right now is unarguable truth, all right? Now let's continue. You can't argue with sacred geometry. What I'm doing now can't be argued with. Now, I just showed you the spade. I'm showing you this little celebration that they got going up in New York, autumnal equinox, with these three women heads making the spade. Now I want you to pay attention to this flyer and look at the rapper names. It says featuring Plantre, all right, which translates to plain, Trey, which is trident. Trey is three. Plan is the plane, the line, the rod of the mother. Trey is Trinity. Plan, Trey, aligning minds. Look, our mind's gonna start to be aligned during this time, and the beast system is falling. We waking up. Flat motherfucking power. Whoever made this flyer and having this celebration, man, they onto something. I wonder if they knew that the names that was featuring here was this symbolic. Plantre, aligning minds, future X, de la Scenari, pneumatic, and more by or whatever. I'm pretty sure all of these names on that flyer mean something celestial, because you got future X and some more. Scenario means scenario. D-Lo, I don't know. But new is nut and matic. You can keep going with that, man. This is crazy how everything just aligning up on all levels at this time with this thing. So to the left of that is the triple goddess symbol. And let me blow that up a little bit for you because I'm moving on along here. And to the top corner left is where we're at now at this time. And all of this mean the different phases of the moon. Waxing moon represents the phase of the maiden possibility and youth. And the color of that is white or virginity. And the full moon represents the mother phase, womanhood at the height of power. That's representative of red or menstruation, which is linked to childbirth. Finally, the waning moon represents the crone phase, when the darker time of life of, you know, we go and quiet ourselves, we be elders with wisdom, and that's symbolic of black. So the colors of the triple goddess is the colors of Satan, which is Saturn, white, black, and red, which is the colors of the bulls or Hathor. And they've been telling us this all over. And you notice that the goddess in the middle always have her hands raised because she represent the peak. She represent the top of the pyramid or the all-seeing eye or the pineal gland that merges left and right brain together to give you a clear picture. Okay? You see two pictures. I'm going to give you an experiment right now. Let me show you something, guys. Stop looking at the computer for a minute. Focus on the object in your room right now and try to look cross-eyed. I don't know if you know how to look cross-eyed, but when we're making fun of people, We be making that little cross-eyed look. Stare at an object, look cross-eyed at it. You will notice it will double. If you cross your eyes, you see objects in double. Well, I got news for you people. You really live in a dual reality. If you stop focusing and relax your eyes, you'll see your world for what it is. It's a duo. So when you go cross-eyed, you actually see your world for what it is. It's you who putting it together. This shit isn't physical, y'all. So when you look at something cross-eyed, you're looking at two different images because you're looking at it from your left eye and right eye. You really see double all the time. It's just you focusing with your third eye that bring your reality together and make it into one world. Think about this. If everybody on earth was born cross-eyed, we'll live in a dual world where you had two of everything. So it's the third eye that makes this a universe. Otherwise, we'll see like flies. You know, flies see like a million objects, and they have to compensate for that sight. They're not able to focus like the human. But you see binary, just like we have a binary sun system. We're in the duat, and really that's your world. Think about it. If you was born cross-eyed, I wouldn't have been able to convince you that it ain't a double world. And if we all was born cross-eyed, it'll be a very different place. Buildings will be different. It'll be probably two cups in front of you. We would probably grow two sets of arms like Mama Callie, because we think that way as evolution. I'm just reaching now. But you get what I'm saying. We really see dual. You put the two pictures together with your third eye, and it's called focusing. And that's how we actually see that. That's representative of the witch that's in the middle. She the one that bonds them together. Remember what I told you? She's the chain on the bike that make the front wheel and the back wheel spin. Without her, that bike ain't moving, baby. You ain't going nowhere. Okay? So she's the link, the one in the middle, or the yoni, the one that takes these two worlds and smash them together and make them one. And you do that every time you looking. You focusing on this computer screen right now. But if you go cross-eyed, it'll double up. So she's the one, or the pineal gland is what allows focus. But once you bring that energy into the eyes, it goes through that one that focused the image. And now the one that focused it also begins to translate it. So if they can distort the image, they can mess with the seat of the soul and how we perceive reality, and also change even how reality look and what we do upon the plane. All right, this is very deep magic they used against us these past 7,000 years, brothers and sisters. So I'm here to give it to you back. Remember that the witch in the middle holds her hands up for victory. Touchdown, baby. Man, I feel good. Who with me? Who still woke? If you look at the witches in this bottom right corner, all right, you got one to the left of the central witch holding a bowl in one hand with water. I want y'all to pay attention to this. We in the bottom right corner and we dealing with these three witches. The left witch, the witch that's on the left, she has a bowl of water, and she has a young tree in her hand. In other words, she's holding a tree that hasn't grown flowers on it yet. She's holding a tree that's young. She's holding a branch in her hand that ain't got no leaves. They ain't bloomed yet. And she's also got a cup of water. This is representative of the waxing moon of youth. White for virginity, when you a baby in the waters of your mama and you haven't grown up yet. Now to the right of her is a witch holding fire, and she got a branch that's fully grown. This is when you in the height of your motherhood, height of your fatherhood, having children and manifesting your ideas. You at the prime of your life in the middle area. Okay? Am I interpreting this right? I just had a brain fart along with a or just a completely distortion of where I left off. I was going to say something off subject, and I tried to remember something, and I just had a brain fart. What you pretty much looking at with them three witches is the witches on the left and right are totally opposite. Just like the waxing moon is opposite of the waning moon, and the witch in the middle represents the combining of them both to give you new moons and full moons, or life and death, rebirth. Think of the number 8. You got 2 zeros that make the number 8. Them 2 zeros would be full moon and new moon that sits in between the wax and the wane. Okay? She's both of them. The master card, remember in the top right, your Vesica Pisces. She's both of the polarities combined to be greater. And the unification is what create our reality. So this is very self-explanatory. If you stare at this collage long enough, you will see what's going on here. I don't think I have to go too deep. I obviously can, but at the center is where it happens. That's where it takes place. You're at the center of the cosmos, the earth right now. So if you go to the bottom left corner, you will see in the center of the waxing moon and waning moon is the mother goddess with her hands raised, with her breasts exposed, and a spiral right there by her belly button, symbolizing the womb where the baby sits, the house of the baby, where life continually come from. So that circle in her belly is a baby balled up in the fetal. It also means the spiral pattern of life. Of right now, while I speak to you, is some babies inside of some mothers' bellies. Let me tell y'all something. All the women that's pregnant during this time, I really believe that those gonna be some special babies, because y'all having them during a very special time. And I don't want to go off subject, so shout out to the pregnant women. Go to brosancheztv, look at my video that I did on ancient childbirth, so you can see how to have a proper pregnancy for your baby's sake. If you know women that's pregnant, as one of my moderators, they'll pull that up for you, or I can give you that video. You need to have pregnancy the ancient way. You need to have birth with your baby. I did a whole video breaking it down. All right, don't let them cut you. Don't do none of that. If you do it the ancient way, it's the less painful, and it is very quick. All right, so where you see life happening, where the goddess with her hands raised in the middle of the Celtic knot, where the 3 spirals meet, you get a vagina or a yoni or a gateway, a triangle. All right, so now I'm gonna take all of these pictures of these witches and all of this off of here. We're gonna move on along, and we're gonna wrap this up, man. I'm trying to make it quick for y'all. Okay, so I'm gonna remove this as well. We getting to a good spot, y'all. We getting to a good spot. So thank y'all for still hanging in with me. I'm gonna keep it going as long as I need to wrap up all of this. And if I have to, I'll open up another session later or tomorrow. But I'm gonna try to cram this and do it all tonight. So if I have to go another hour, I will. So let me take another break right quick before I go into the next portion of this, because I think I've reached a good stopping point right now. And I just want to talk to y'all for a minute. I feel lonely. Y'all out there talking. I ain't looked at the chat yet, because I'm giving you something. I'm giving you myself, okay? And I'm giving you all of me. So I see we got 132 people watching, and I see that the chat room is lit up and people are having a good conversation. Y'all just gave me energy to keep going. Hell, I might go for the next 2 hours if we keep this many people watching. God damn it, y'all some soldiers, boy. Y'all are up with me. Y'all some soldiers. Let me take a break right here, and let me just give everybody who give me a flat power a shout out right now for the next couple minutes or two. And a big shout out to Masterpiece, man. Listen, ever since I met Masterpiece, that brother been riding. He ride, let me tell you, when I'm not around, he speak highly of me. And I do the same for him. I love you, my brother. Same to you, Dark Man X. Same to all of y'all out there in that chat. I wish I can just fucking hug all of y'all, man. I want to really get powerful so I can travel like I want, come to your cities and get the hotel room and teach this stuff in person, squeeze some necks, have my woman make y'all some food. Man, we truly a spiritual family, people, and I love y'all. So shout out to all of y'all. Carlene, McLean, I see you. Inquisitive Bunny and Divine Will are two that's been riding. You know, these mods put in a lot of work. Everything's love. I tell you what, at the end of this, I'm just going to go on here and open up an open panel at some point, man. I can't wait. So let me take a minute break, y'all. And then I'm going to keep this thing going longer. I didn't know I had that many people watching that was being soldiers that's up for me. I love y'all because it's a very important time, and you losing sleep, you ain't losing nothing. All right, this the time where we want to be observing, more observant than ever. So what I'm going to do, since it's over 130 people watching, hell, I'm going to keep going and going and going till I finish it. So if y'all will let me get a minute to take me like a 2-minute break, I'm going to continue and I'm going to be giving you so many revelations, because that's what time we in. We in the book of Revelation. So we got a bunch of people watching. Don't y'all go nowhere. Stay here. You in the right place. All right, and I'm going to continue this just for y'all. Now I'm going to take a break for a minute and be right back with you. Like it and share it, people. All right. I still got 120 people watching who was patient enough to let me take that break. We finna go in and get it some more. Let's do it. Okay? Because I love to see the fact that my tabs are getting low. That means I'm wrapping it up. And when I go to closing these tabs, it's progress to me. So we're going to continue the teachings. Okay, where was I and where I want to go on this next part? All right, we went over this. All right, I already went over this too. I think we may be entering a part of the series. I obviously can go over Mbog and St. Bridget's Day. But it's really not important. This is really symbolizing a time after this. We ain't there yet. We got to get past this. So I'm going to be talking about this a lot because it's just not this event. But I'm going to go ahead and close that one. Planets align and 9 more can't miss sky events in September. This was put out by Nat Geo. And a meeting between Mercury and Mars and your best views of Neptune are just some of the celestial wonders this month. This planet Neptune is nothing but Mama Kali. The bastards, I told y'all it makes me mad because what these bastards do, they play with your subconscious. They know you really are attracted to the goddess. So they give certain planets attributes of the goddess. You know what I mean? To get you hooked in. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about as soon as I load this picture. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Alright, so if y'all bear with me. Alright. So this thing about water and the goddess and all this. So here's goddess Kali. Remember, Neptune is the deity with the trident. Alright. You can see they damn near the exact same color. Yeah, you think that's by coincidence? No. I keep telling you that they are playing with our subconscious, people. Neptune is at its brightest in September. Neptune represents water, which is the primordial source of the wave, the sine wave. The water moves like the sine wave. The liquid water is just a microcosmic echo of the primordial waters, which is simply darkness, or the most subtlest of all waves. I don't know if you guys have YouTube channels, but I showed you a minute ago the reason symbol, the reason logo, and the trident that the mother is holding. I showed you how that you can see a lot of symbolism throughout the world that shows you this Trinity. And I'm just using things you familiar with. Most of us, we live stream, we got YouTube channels. We work with OBS, and OBS is 666. So if you use open broadcast software, their symbol is the recycle wheel. Or remember that Celtic knot I just showed you with the witches? Everyone know this but you. Everyone know this but you. Seriously. They're giving you 3 sits right here. Alright? Remember 3 6s is what? 18, which is 9. And what are 3 9s? 27, which is 9. 9 is the feminine, or the spiral that I just showed you on the mother's belly. I don't have to beat this horse too much, do I? So if you use OBS Studio, you can see all the symbols of the goddess, even with their logo. Now let's move right on along back to the Neptune deception. So as the season change, we know to be on the lookout. They kill me with that. They sound like tourists for the sky. Like, come on. But then they start telling you what to look at and how to look at it. And y'all fall for it. And people fall for that crap, man. So look, Nat Geo up here talking a bunch of mumbo jumbo, basically. And what I want to show you with all of this article is the most important part is just the highlights and the pictures is what we're going to look at. So we had Aquarius with Neptune. That's symbolic of floods. We know we've been getting a lot of that earlier in this month and the end of August. So we had Neptune and Aquarius in the sky early September, late August. And this is the time of the great hurricanes, or when Aquarius pour the water onto the earth. What they're doing is mirroring the cosmos, but instead of them watering the earth like how we water seeds so that we can grow better, they literally watering us, flooding us with water. Everything they do is blasphemous and to rip apart the fabric of balance, which is doing it on all of the subtle and subconscious levels. So during the time of them flooding the earth, they didn't just do it at any random time. They waited to around Aquarius and Neptune was in the sky to come with their floods. So they're speaking a dual language, and I keep trying to tell y'all that. Regulus and Mercury with Venus, and this was September 10. Venus was above Regulus and Mercury, and I think that one was pretty easy. Okay, you got the staff, the rod of the goddess. You see her and her messenger Mercury, all right, and Venus above. That's an easy one. When you think about this one here, this is a very good one here. So the moon in Aldebaran was September 12. Now Aldebaran is the star that we're calling the Nibiru. So you see the color of it, it's a brightish orangish red. And if you look at this picture, what are you dealing with? Look at it hard. You got an orange object and a black sky. What colors is that? The moon is white or silver. Look like Halloween colors to me. All right, so now we get it. Harvest time. Where the colors, we're basically mirroring the sky. We mimic the sky. We wear the colors that's in the sky when the sky is at that time. Okay, so basically the colors of our festivities are the colors that light up the sky, the certain planets that's pairing up. Just like I showed you with them football teams, they got them two teams playing for the colors and the symbology. They don't do nothing just by stance or just coincidence. Everything's carefully planned to tie into the occultic. So when they retell history 500 years from now, those football teams are turned into real people who had guns if you let them tell it. They'll tell you, on September 21, 2017, the 49ers and the Rams went to war in the great battle of the gods, and they'll create some Greek mythology. But if we was here to tell it, we'll be like, man, that was a football game. That was the Niners and the Rams. But see, they leaving the book behind for their children to tell to your future generations. They ahead of you on the time clock because they was controlling the calendar. But when their calendar is ending right now, we finna start exposing all the lies or revealing. So everything you learned in history was you only believe it from the same people that's been lying to you. So you don't know what happened. Like I said, 500 years from now, the football game they played today can be interpreted as a real war that took place and misplaced people. When really we know that it was them attacking us with weather and they blaming it on like the Trojans and the Spartans or the Rams and the Niners went to war and a great civilization fell so they can build a new civilization called a new world order out of all this cataclysm and rewrite new history or a new Bible. Because a Bible is nothing but the testament of the man who stole the lineage and matriarch ruling from the woman to rule you with the ghost spell. Okay? So the testament is from the testicles. Alright? And that ain't the way power come. It come from the womb, alright, man? We got to get out the way. And that's what they trying to do with this new world order. Get rid of a bunch of people off the earth. Because if they get rid of all these consciousness, then a few people that's left, they can just brainwash them to teach the lie to their children, you know, a different history. And they can write a different Bible and come with a new Genesis. Alright? You got to think about that. How was they was able to convince us that the world started 7,000 years ago when they wrote the book of Genesis? Because you weren't there 7,000 years ago. And what they trying to do now, because 7,000 years is up now, get rid of us. They trying to do population and depopulate the earth to erase the memory of the truth that's being revealed in this time of revelation. That's why this time is linked to great cataclysm. They have to reset their deceptive clock. We don't know how many times they resetted this thing. The Gregorian calendar probably may not be the first 7,000 year rule. They probably had another calendar before that where they was ruling them people who weren't around to see this alignment that time. So I hope y'all see how this work. It's just like the Matrix. I meant to say Men in Black. Remember Men in Black? When they want to delete your memory, they walk up to you with their little thing and they hit the button and they flash the light and you forget everything that you saw and they reprogram a different story in your head. Go to Men in Black and check that movie out. They telling you how they rewrite history by deleting the collective consciousness, the memory. This is also got something to do with the Mandela effect, I think, because if they've been doing this for so long, they've been resetting collective consciousness by reinterpreting the story of the stars, but the true memory of the truth is in our DNA. So every now and then we have deja vu, we have some called a Mandela effect, and I think that got to do with their deception and also a little bit of our psychic abilities too that they hid from us. But that's another subject. Let's get back to this picture in front of you. We got the moon, Taurus, and Aldebaran. Let me break this down for you, all right? So Planet X is Aldebaran. It's going to be participating in this great alignment. And on September 12th, this is how the moon looked. Remember that September 12 translate to 10 because septo is 7 and 12 is 3. And 3 and 10 are both triangle numbers or the binary code. You can make a pyramid with each of those units, which means if you even look at September as 9, 9 plus 3 will give you 12, which is 3 again. So this date is very symbolic for this celestial alignment of the moon and Aldebaran, because what you're looking at there, and I want you to stare at that a minute. Look at the moon, right? Look at this second star that's part of our star system, or the second sun, Planet X, all right? Look at it. Look where the moon is and ask yourself, maybe the Islamic people know something we don't know. Nasser in Hebrew means deceive. Farrakhan in Hebrew means charmer or to deceive. We know that Nation of Islam is a Shriner organization. And when you look up the symbol for Shriners, you get the crescent moon with the star of Aldebaran, but you also get the sword that chops off the head of Ketu. They're blending together all the signs of the goddess. This is Ketu, or the Nagini, the virgin, the mother. This is the great mother, y'all. This is the mermaid. Okay? This slicing is equivalent to 7, or severing the head off of something. 7 is complete, mean finito. You are beheaded when I cut your head off. Book closed, end of story, finito. That's what the great mother telling you here. Off with your head. Finito. All right? You're done. It's the end of a cycle. And you can see the mother swinging that sword that's going to be swung on the 23rd. It's the great alignment. It's going to be like a rod in her hand, and she coming back with liberty. I just showed you. That's her sword. Her showing the truth that she balancing this celestial wheel from the North Pole, and that you've been lied to thinking about Nibiru and cataclysms. The great mother got it all under control, and you breaking the covenant. So this is powerful, and you see the Shriners telling you this. All right, you got the moon aligned with Aldebaran, and you see the slicing, because this is how this alignment gonna be. Aldebaran gonna be part of this too. So they call themselves daughters of the Sphinx. So you see the Nation of Islam is a Shriners organization, and you always remember that. In fact, the Arabic flag is red, black, and white. The United Arabic of Emirates. Do you know the Arabic flag that unites all of the Arabs? It's actually red, black, and white. In other words, the United Nations of all of the Middle Eastern, Middle Eastern nations, their unifying flag is red, black, and white, which is the colors of the goddess or Satan. So look again at this picture. Think of the significance of the date. Look at where the moon is with Aldebaran in Taurus. And we already know about Taurus now, the bull. Taurus is the bull, all right? Do I have to go deeper on that and show you how this thing, the moon and Aldebaran, being in bull or the ram? All right, so this symbolizing, this bull is the uterus of the woman. It looked like a horn organ making a T like Ma'at. But the moon there with Aldebaran symbolizes a type of fertility. So this is what you get in Islam, and their deity is Allah, which translates to Allat. Now let me show you who Allat is. This is the mother goddess that predates Allah. And if you look at her, what they did was they chopped her hand off and they did a little desecration. But she got a rod in her hand. All right, this predates Allah. These are the three daughters of Allah. And this right here is that witch trinity that I just showed you, the three witches, the Celtic knot, the goddess portal. Here they go right here. When you say Allah, take the A off the end, it's simply all. The woman is all. She's the Alpha and Omega, the X chromosome. So Allah is also Lilith, all right? And we already know we can go deep into that. So they're giving you patriarchal versions of the goddess. When you talk about Aldebaran, again, that's the Islamic symbol. But a lot of people say that that's the Islamic symbol is moon with Venus, but it's not. It's Aldebaran, okay? And this planet X, or this second sun called Aldebaran, when you do your etymology on it, you see that it's the bright star in Taurus. From Arabic, remember when you say Arab, they know about the Great Mother, because the scarab beetle is a symbol of the Great Mother with her hands raised. And let me go back to Lilith, because Lilith is Allat. And remember, the Great Mother keep her hands raised. So here she is right here, and her wings and her hands form an X or H or a Kananga, a six-pointed star like I was showing y'all a minute ago. So this is Lilith or Allat. This is the deity that predates Allah. This is the one who was turned into the devil. You see the serpent wrapped around her and the horns? All right, she's a beautiful deity. And y'all got to start embracing this stuff. Quit being scared of it. Because when you in fear, they laugh their ass off, man. They playing a Halloween trick on your soul. And it's so sad. So, Aldebaran. How did this star get its name? Well, if you look at it, it's following behind the moon. And it only appear and reappear during certain times. So Aldebaran is where we get the term abracadabra. Abracadabra, because Aldebaran comes, it reappears and disappears. You don't always see the second sun. You see it every now and then when there are certain alignments. Okay, so Aldebaran is the abracadabra's son. You know, it's the one that appeared, play peekaboo with you. So it gets his name. Aldebaran became to be abracadabra, and when you're dealing with abracadabra, you're dealing with magic or witches or sorcery, because sorcery is about going back to the source. Okay, sorcery is about going back to the source. So when you look at the Aldebaran falling behind the moon, we read on with the etymology. Aldebaran, the follower. It's the follower because it follows behind the moon. You can see that the word dabara means he followed. Okay? El or Al is the. It's El Salvador would be the Savior in Mexican. El or Al means the, and that's another way of saying the Most High. The is simply I am that I am. So Aldebaran translate to he followed or the follower. And we see that that's exactly what he does. He follows the moon. All right. He's, in other words, the one that holds the bride dressed up when it's dragging the ground. All right. And that's where we get abracadabra. So let's continue. We shutting up these tabs, and I just want to be thorough. Mars and Mercury was in the sky September 16. I didn't get to see that one, but I think that's a good one, because if Mars and Mercury are paired, it's a messenger of war. Mercury is the messenger. Mars is a war, symbolizes war. If you want to deal with the numerology they give us, because that's what they going by. They using their mythology and then putting the energy with their Greek deities to manifest them. So Thor controls weather in their science, in their mythology. So they have machines that manufacture weather that's named after Thor. So science is spiritual. Again, physicality ain't separate from spirituality. I'm hoping I'm lifting the veil right now, and I'm hoping that you're able to see. Venus and Moon, September 17. And I'm just kind of rushing through these now. You can make a connection in mythology with all of these alignments that they got here. But I'm just kind of making it quick now because I think y'all get it. I can really be so thorough and just break this stuff down, each aspect, but you get it. You get it. So Venus in Regulus was in the sky September 20th. And remember that septo is 7 and 20 is 2. 7 plus 2 is 9. Remember what I told you, the 9 is the spiral, it's the divine feminine, or the femi-9. So September 20 means 9 in numerology, and on that day you have Venus regulating, or you had the goddess with her rod regulating with her caduceus. And you get the number 9 that symbolizes all of that. So they're giving us, they're speaking to us on so many levels. Let's keep going. I'm trying to skip through this. Jupiter and the moon, I can make connections with that, but it's not significant. Saturn and the moon, okay, balance from the mother. We already know that 2 plus 6. Okay, let's go ahead and work with this one for a minute. This may be a good one. Saturn was in proximity to the moon. That's a good pairing right there. And it happened on September 26th. Let's try to decipher this one. Septos is 7 plus 8. We get 15, which will give you sets or sits or set or sat. Set is sat. Sets is man and woman balance, creating life. So yes, the dates are equaling out right. We end up with 6 because Saturn is near the moon. Remember, moon is fertility. Saturn is sex, man and woman and fertility. And this happened on September 26th, which equals out to 6, and 6 is sex. You see how the stars tell the story of as above, so below? All right, I'm going to keep doing this so y'all can learn how to do it for yourself. So that's the end of this article. And that star Regulus, that's one star we've been paying attention to. That's the one that's at the top of the rod. In other words, the planetary alignment ends with Regulus, where Leo is swinging that rod at Hydra. Now let's talk about Regulus, because that's why we're regal. That's why we regulate, because of this alignment, standing upright, living in tune with nature. Then you can be sovereign like a king. All right, now let's deal with Regulus, and this is how you get the regal lion. You know what's so fun about all of this? I'm using a website called Online Etymology to do my etymology, and the symbol for online etymology, let me show you. The symbol for Online Etymology Dictionary. How about this, people? Look at their symbol. Is Leo the lion with the arrows and like the bow and arrow. Ain't that something, people? Ain't that something? I use this website for etymology, and right now I'm talking about Leo spearing the serpent, and doggone it, their logo is Leo with his arrows or with his rod. Ain't that something? But anyway, let me move on. See, everybody know this but you. Now this regal lion, all right, let's talk about him. So now you see that movie The Lion King has significance now. Remember this, y'all. When you look at this movie called The Lion King, let's look at the characters, the main characters. Because I'm finna decipher something for you right quick. They giving you waning moon, waxing moon, and full moon. Now, Scar represents the feminine or the dark energy. Scar represents the dark energy. That's why his name's Scar, dealing with scary. When you have a scar on your face, it's a sign of like scary, it's something bad happened. Scar is scary, but it's also the root word of scales, scabs, which is a covering or nut protection of a wound, and also scarab beetle. So Scar represent the Lilith energy, and Mufasa would be your masculine or your Geb energy, your sunlight energy. And when you put them both together, of course you get Simba. Now Simba can be said to be Sim, that's simulation, by dealing with the soul. You can take that all you want, but I'm just showing you that Simba would be Leo, the child of that's birthed from the polarity. Not to say Mufasa and Scar having sex. No. I'm telling you, they had to give you the bad guy, good guy, and then a little child, okay? And that's man, woman, baby. That's your three: first person, second person, third person, okay? Now, we almost at the end of this. Regulus is the bright star in Leo, first so-called by Copernicus. All right, literally little king of Rex, meaning king. Reg, where we get the word regular, move in a straight line. Remember that lion has a rod in his hand, a planetary alignment. and it's thus to lead or to rule, and he rules with this. So a ruler is a straight line, and it can't measure unless it's straight. All right. So probably a translation of Basiliskos, a Hellenistic Greek name for the star mentioned in Geminos, and Ptolemy in the Almagest or the El Majesty. Almagest would be El Majesty, and I'm gonna do some more research on that myself. So y'all kind of getting inside of my brain, seeing how I research when I'm up at night, huh? So the heart of Leo is Regulus, as you can see here, Leo the lion. All right, that's where his energy comes from. That's where he's swinging his rod, and that's where his power come from. Just like your power come from your heart. All right, that's where regulates his body, or your heart regulates. As above, so below. So it's on the heart of Leo. And when you hear terms like the eye of the tiger and the heart of the lion, the one that regulates. But before all of the masculine regulated, remember, it was just the mother with the caduceus. She predates the son. You didn't come before your mama. So let's read on. Perhaps a translation of Lugal. Lugal can mean anything with Lu is Luciferian. So it's said to have been the star's Babylonian name. Again, that great whore is Lucifer. There we go. So you always get the primordial source of who regulated first. Ain't that good stuff? That's good stuff. So Klein holds it to be corruption of Arabic, the paw of the lion. Now, stop for a minute. Something I want to point out to you that's off subject. You got to learn how to look at your world and see the balance in everything. You say, Brother Sanchez, why you got a crab up on the board? Because balance is Ma'at. She's the law keeper. And each scale is what keeps the balance if they're 50-50. And this crab has something called claws. Okay, y'all following me? Who gonna tie that together? A crab has a claw. Take the C off, you get law. You get the goddess with her hands raised, people, who keep the law balance in the scales. Crabs stand up all the time, and I love it when they do it because they ready to fight. They telling you, okay, motherfucker, I gotta regulate. Excuse my French. When you see a crab do like this, it's coming to balance scales. It's coming to pinch your behind. And that's the queen bee with the stinger, okay? You out of line. But like I said, it ain't nature striking us with hurricanes. It's just nature making them strike us with hurricanes because nature putting the heat on their ass. So the beast going crazy, he gonna try to kill all of her children. She ain't killing us. Her lining up these stars making him desperate. So he's killing us with his technology, but it's not nature. She just coming back showing you that the balance was always here. But since he don't want you to see it, he want to bomb it and make it Nibiru and the end of the world so he can redo another Bible and have the next generations enslaved for another 7,000 years. If we don't get it right over this next 7-year period, our children going to go through what we went through, and their children going to go through it for another 7,000 years. So right now the planet and the earth and the stars is aligning right now. And we got to put our pinchers up like this crab and start fighting like this crab to bring law with our claws. The law will be enforced by each and every last one of y'all hands, and you being brave and saying, no, you no longer gonna poison my water. I lose my life coming up here to this factory to show you what I feel about it. And it's going to take you being brave like this crab, because this crab don't care if you're a big old human. It'll stand there and stand up and fight you, and it'll raise his hands up just like the great mother. It don't care how big you is. It'll raise them claws up, and when you, like I said, a claw is the law. When it pinch you, you going to leave it alone, and its balance going to be restored because it regulate with them claws or them laws, them scales. Remember, in law, you got clauses too. That's a word they use in law, is a clause. So let me show you some. When you talk about the great mother raising her hands, she talking about, that means she bringing balance, buddy. And if you gotta get spanked, you getting spanked. Now here what I want you to see is the great mother goddess raising her hands like you just saw that crab. And these are different goddesses amongst different time, throughout different times, all raising their arms, because this the symbol of victory or touchdown, which is 7 points, a cornerstone. End zone. We are at an end zone. This is the serpent goddesses. All right. When you see them with the hands raised, remember this right here. That means it's time for war. That means they done pissed off the mother, and her children finna come out just like this to restore balance and to regulate and to use our claws to enforce her laws. You're gonna use your claws to enforce her laws, and damn it, I'll lead it out. Talk like this don't get us in trouble, y'all. You know we ain't talking about nothing physical. Wink, wink. All right now, y'all. I think I've done enough for today, and I feel good. I can keep on reading if I want, and what this will read to you is that during this time when then no clocks exist, the ancestors knew what time it was. They knew, the ancestors knew 7,000 years had passed because they temples didn't make these alignments until every 7,000 years. So each generation participated in interpreting the stars to the next generation until these deceivers came and gave us a different interpretation today, the rulers under. But it's going to be people like me, like I said, bringing it back and showing the truth, revealing the truth, revelation. So you can see how this is significant on the pyramids in Egypt. I'm going to move that on out your way. And you can see how it's significant in Mexico. All of the ancients were saying the same thing. All right, and this is the collage that we're going to take to our open panel. If you want to discuss it more, I'm going to move that out the way. We're coming to a closing. If you're still with me, if we still got over 100 people, I'm going to end this when it start an open panel. How about it? We up late, we don't care. You know, hey, if you up, I'm up. If you want me to keep going, hey, I do it for you. So we don't have to go into nothing else. I think that everything I'm looking at now, I've exhausted it to the point where you all can go teach it now. So I feel good about that. And I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, and I'm gonna keep on continuing teaching the teachings of the Great Mother, so that nature be restored. And I want you guys to help me out and to do the same. You're going to get called a lot of things for it, but you just remember you got to go back and see her when you close these eyes. How you fight for the feminine, or how your relationship with Mother Nature determines how you come back out on the other side. Remember, she's the recycle or the wash machine. All right, you come in and out of this earth through mothers. So if you don't protect the mother, or if you don't do right by the mother, you gonna find yourself in the womb of a mother that may create hell for that little baby. All right, this is real stuff now. There's been babies put in a microwave. There's been mothers done torturous things to these babies, and you don't know what's going on the spiritual and who these souls is and why what happened to certain people happened to them. All right, nature gonna get you right, but just like a parent, she got a belt. All right, and she gets you in between lifetimes. You catch hell in your next life because you was a dick to people. All right, karma is real. So I'm going to leave y'all with that. And with that being said, stay tuned, because all I do is use my voice as a bullhorn for the Great Mother. I tie the Great Mother in as the foundation of all my teachings, because she's the foundation of all reality. I take a lot of flack for what I do, but I don't mind. I love being a martyr, because the root word of martyr is ma. All right, I'm one of the ones that's dedicate my everything in me for the restoration of this earth. And there's a lot of people who negative as hell. They say this is a shithole. I don't see it beautiful. That's because your eyes ain't open. You looking at the enemy for beauty. You looking at the ugliness of the government don't hide the beautiful of nature. Let me repeat that. You people who looking at the ugliness of the powers that be, that don't hide the beauty of nature. Once we get them out the way, you will see how beautiful this place really is. You're only miserable because you're being attacked subconsciously on all levels. And there's a lot of miserable flat earthers. They have a miserable story to tell their children. They think they can escape this place somehow. You can only escape it by participating. Remember, this is the meeting. You signed up for it. Quit being a little biot. And you know who I'm talking to. I want to say his name. He's a miserable soul. But when we have an open panel, I'm going to catch up with y'all. And I'm going to kind of get my gossip on. You know I don't bite my tongue. So I miss y'all. And I'm going to wrap this whole series up right about now. And I ain't going to even touch on this for a while. I'm going to take a break from the subject and I'm going to fall back and just talk to y'all and have a couple open panels to split it up. And then I might get back into some more teachings, uncovering some more with it. Because there is a lot of more stuff that I didn't go into. But for the most part, most of it I did. So I feel comfortable ending it here as a good little end spot. And we're going to do something different from here. I can focus on some other things. This pretty much was very thorough and tackled everything we need to know right now about the event. So give it a like, share every video starting from the very first one. And this is, I think, a 6-video series that I did. I put a lot of hours of work in. I want y'all to share it, all right? So, with that being said, I'm going to let y'all go, man. And before I do that, I'm going to look at this chat room. And I'm going to just see what y'all typing. Okay. See what y'all typing out here. Okay. I tell you what. Everyone that's still up right now, listening and tuning in right now, put a flat power in the chat if you want me to end this one and have a little hour-long open panel. I can dedicate about another hour before I gotta shut down completely. But if y'all want to politic and build for an hour, we could do that. Okay, we can do it. So I'm tired, but I've been doing a lot of talking, so now I want to listen for an hour. If you want to do that, let me get a flat power. I stop this one. We'll do an hour open panel, and let's build for a minute. Okay, I see that. That's what we're gonna want to do. Okay, so do me a favor. Give me like a 30-minute. No, I'm not gonna make y'all wait 30 minutes. Give your boy a 15-minute break. Is that cool? Can I have 15 minutes? Y'all gonna do that for me? Y'all gonna come back in 15 minutes so we can build? Cool, and I'll come back in 15 minutes and I'll stay up with y'all and we'll all be up vibrating high, okay? So I've been going in for 4 hours, really more than that. So let me take at least 15 minutes to set up and just sip some water, and I'm gonna come right back with another hour with an open panel. Flat power, peace, and much love.